What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's up, man?
Man, what a time to be alive.
I'm getting frustrated.
Bro, it's just craziness right now, man. Shout out to the coronavirus. Well, not even a shout out, but it's crazy to see how people are reacting right now.
I'm getting really pissed.
Dude, I'm looking in amazement. At the same time, I'm like, oh, this is like for real. But then just seeing how life has been altered just drastically, all because of this virus, man. It's nuts right now.
I'm cool with the schools being closed. I'm cool with some other stuff being closed. And whatever. For 2 weeks, a month, that's fine.
Okay.
But now I'm seeing on SportsCenter, NBA, they're thinking best case scenario is going to be a mid-June start time, and they're thinking the season might potentially be canceled. It's gone too far. It just has.
Even the same with hockey,
it's
man.
Ridiculous.
I was talking with some of the some of like the hockey reporters, and they were saying the same thing. They're either going to have a extended playoff, and they'll just like end the regular season, but it's so many logistical things. I mean, even with the NCAA, you saw with the NCAA, they are given an extra year of eligibility to any of the spring sports, but that doesn't count any of the basketball players. So
wow.
Yeah, so it doesn't even like help those guys out.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, so it's been a lot going on. But even more so, the thing that I was a little surprised with the whole coronavirus thing was how it was it's already impacted the NFL level in terms of the pro days being canceled, the pre-draft visits being canceled, but then also they're still going to proceed with free agency, but yet they still aren't allowed to have players flying into them or not. And they're talking about potentially using like private jets for some of the higher end guys, but it's just a lot from a logistics standpoint that doesn't really work. Then there are also reports coming out that the NFL draft, they're still planning on having it, but they're not going to do some of the live draft events that we were accustomed to seeing, which is going to be in Vegas this year. It was still a conversation that they will potentially move the draft. So it's a lot that's going on, all directly related to the coronavirus. So yeah, it's a lot, man.
Either way, I do give my kudos to the NFL for still rolling through, because I appreciate that as a sports fan. Whereas I told you at the beginning, man, how mid-June
Well, this is my thing, man. I was laughing because people don't take stuff like this serious until it affects their sports. Because let's be real, right? Nobody it's not like the coronavirus just happened today or last week, right? Yeah. This was already going on in China, right? So we already knew about this a month ago. We knew that it was happening in Europe, and they shut down their country. We knew this. Then it comes to America, and everybody's like, oh, whatever. Oh, it's all good. Oh, school shut down. Okay, whatever. Oh, some people get sick. Somebody die. Oh, whatever. Soon as they say the basketball season's canceled, soon as they say this is canceled, soon as they say that's suspended, now everyone's like, oh, man, we got to take this serious. And for me, it was kind of like not an eye-opener, but almost like a reminder of the role that sports play in people's lives, and ultimately how they look to the sports realm to validate if they should be concerned or not.
Yeah, but I think that's my point, though, from what I'm saying is I'm still not concerned. And that's what I'm almost projecting to the NBA. Like, stop being this concerned. This is way too much concern.
But how's that too much concern when they already have had multiple players acquired?
But the problem is
multiple players have acquired it. So if you continue to play knowing that multiple players have already acquired it,
but how many
more people do you think will acquire it?
Like I said, 2 weeks, a month, that's a different story than just come out and saying mid-June.
But this is the thing. What's the point of saying 2 weeks if then in 2 weeks you're going to have to push it back to a month? What's the point of saying a month when then a month hits, now you're going to push it back further? Why not undersell and overproduce?
Okay.
If I tell you, hey, Deke,
as long as they're not serious about this mid-June.
All I'm saying is this, Deke, do we have any information right now in terms of when there's going to be a vaccination for this? Do we have any idea right now of when things are going to settle down from this? We don't know any of that. We have no information on that. So how can we just assume that, hey, as long as we throw out this deadline, everything will be fine? You can't, because the situation's too fluid. And we could just see just from the span of 2 days, right? Just yesterday, well, over the weekend, people were still out partying, right? For St. Patrick's Day weekend.
Yep.
Then as of today, they're putting a mandate where if you're not an essential business in terms of like a hospital, if you're not a grocery store, if you're not a pharmacist, that you need to be closing. That was just in the span of 2 days. So how can an NBA or NFL or any other league make some type of like, hey, we're going to be back in 2 weeks, when just in 2 days things can change like that?
Nah, you just don't say anything really. Like, hey, I think the initial thing
you can't not say anything because people want information.
The initial thing he said was like, yeah, it's probably gonna be a month and we're gonna look at it from there on out. I don't know who came up with these reports that well I guess Adam Silver didn't say it's one of these reports.
People want information though. A lot of people want information. I mean, shoot, I got kids, man. The fact that they said that first it was, hey man, we're gonna close school. Then it was like, well, how long is it closed? I need to know these things. I mean, how do we plan? What's going on? What's next? That's what people start to complain about. Then you give them the information. Oh, it's going to be to this day. Whoa, why would it be so long? Why has it got to be then? Or that's too soon. It needs to be longer. It's a lot of stuff from a logistical standpoint, man. A lot. And you're never going to be able to please everybody. So you put the information out there and people take it how they want to take it. For me, I'm like, hey, they didn't have to give us any information. They could have stopped the season and just said, hey, don't worry about it. You'll know something when we tell you something. Then people would have lost their mind. You definitely lost your mind then. If they would have just, hey, when they canceled that Nuggets in Jazz game, okay, if they would have never said anything, just canceled it, said the season suspended, and just left it at that, you would have lost your mind. Well, what do you mean? Talk to me. I need more information. Now you're getting more information, and now you're not satisfied.
I'm getting too much.
Stop it. See, that's what I'm saying. You can't please everyone.
I don't like this piece of information. I'm fine with the information.
No, you're not.
I am.
You're not fine with it because it doesn't make you happy.
Exactly.
That's selfish, but that's how you get the coronavirus to spread even more. People being selfish. Man. Because when they say, hey, you probably should not go to different events. You probably should not go to public gatherings. I guarantee you right now, if they say, hey, we're going to have a sporting event, you'd be over there like, hey, man, can I go? I want to go.
I'd stop by.
And see, that's the problem.
I mean,
stop being selfish, man.
No, it's the market.
Stop being selfish.
It's not. Stop being selfish, man. It's what the market dictates.
No, the market dictates.
And I'm sure there's players.
No. If you look at the market right now from a money standpoint, it's going the wrong way.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So if you give the product out there of sports, man, the market will be there.
And then people get sick, and then before you know it, the whole country shut down. Now we really hurt.
No. Here's the thing. I bet you there's a lot of players.
Okay.
Want to put out the product and play.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've talked to some players directly.
NBA, NFL
players directly, and they have had very contrasting perspectives on this whole situation.
Well,
man.
I'm glad you shared that because I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man. Because for them, they're gonna say this. Okay, how do we make money by playing the game? Can I play the game if I'm sick? No. Do I want to come to the game and play it if my children get sick? No. If a parent gets sick? No. If a grandparent gets sick? No. But we know that they're all our biggest supporters. When we have games, they're there. So they're directly exposed to this. Even if they don't show up and I'm there, I'm exposed to it. And who am I bringing it back home to them?
What about without the fans, though?
You still have to realize we're talking about 53 guys. Well, actually 55 because the CBA just got passed. So now 55 guys on the roster. So 55 times 2. Okay, so we're looking at I guess
I'm thinking NBA.
Well, even in the NBA, right? Okay. You saw just how quick it went from Rudy Gobert to Donovan Mitchell, right? And they still haven't.
I think there's a third guy.
Okay. And just think about that. That was just in one quick little thing right there. Now, just imagine, okay, for the people who are asymptomatic right now, the guys who might have coronavirus but don't know because they don't have the symptoms just yet, or they haven't been tested for it just yet, and they're going back to their families. And now, okay, think about how that spreads with them and then the people in their network. You see what I'm saying? How easy this thing goes.
I guess the problem is, and what a lot of people complain about is how much different is this than the flu? That's kind of the thing. And
well, the difference is with the flu, you have a vaccination. Yeah, so you at least know how to combat it. Right now, do we know what the end game is for coronavirus?
No.
Do we know if there's anything that's underlying in terms of, okay, once you've had this in your system for 2 months, you're going to react this way? Do we know any of that? No,
we don't. But
so how can you?
There are people that have been good.
How are you going to say people have been good when? How long have they had it? Do we know? No. We know it's a high mortality rate. We do know that. But outside of that, what do we exactly know about the coronavirus? What do we know about it?
I'm just the wrong guy to be talking about.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, what do we know about it? We have zero clue about this virus. So it's hard to say if somebody's taking it too serious and not serious enough when you don't have the information. I think that's the biggest thing, and that's why I take the approach I take in terms of just respecting it. I'm not saying that you're right or wrong, but until we get the facts, just respect it. And I think that the professional teams are doing a great job in terms of that.
Okay.
Because the risk that you run if you don't respect it and say it is something serious than what we've ever seen before, well, now you're the one who's responsible for people losing their lives, people being sick, and things like that.
Okay.
Slippery slope. That's all I'm saying. So in situations like this, you proceed with caution until you understand fully what's happening. That's how I look at it.
It's fair. I'm infuriated. Dude, I am. I just am, man. When I saw that mid-June, I could not believe it. And the potential of the season being canceled. Actually, it's not selfish because I'm looking out for LeBron and his legacy. He deserves to win another chip. And it would be like... And
he's going to be fresh, taking years off of him. I mean, taking the wear and tear off of his body.
Come on. But this is a perfect opportunity for him to get another chip for the Lakers.
And it wouldn't be for him next year as well?
Yeah, but you just like, never know. You just never know.
So if we never know...
You think everything's a gimme, but still,
exactly.
You know
so what's to say that this year's a gimme?
It's just a chance, though. It's like...
So what's to say this chance different than next year's chance? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but at least you want the chance.
So who says he won't get the chance next year?
I'm not saying that. It's just.
So what if he tried to play through it this year and he gets the coronavirus? How does that help him? Please help me understand. How does that help him?
Come on.
Serious. And he's living in LA, California.
LeBron's invincible.
Oh, okay. They said that about Kobe too. God rest his soul.
Man.
They did. Black mom mentality. That's how that turned out.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Nobody's invincible, man. Even Superman in a wheelchair. Remember that.
Time is undefeated, though.
Exactly.
And what I mean is he's 35. So
man, y'all been talking about his age for the past 5 years. Stop it.
Okay.
Stop it.
I'm just saying.
The same people talk about Tom Brady's age the past 10 years. Stop it.
I just want him to have another chance. That's all. I don't want a lost season. This is an epic season. This is an MVP season.
Bro, you're trying to selfishly put all of these factors in for you.
I'll even say for Dayton, the hoops players, how often does that opportunity come around for Dayton? And
it happens like that sometimes. It happens like that. That's life though. There was no guarantee for you, right? So why wait till this year? Why, if you were Dayton, why'd you do it last year? I mean, that's what we're talking about, right? Living in the moment.
But we're talking about time, though.
Exactly. So why waste time?
No, there's a development process.
No. So now sit down. We can spin this multiple ways. No different than what did we say when Kobe Bryant passed? We said when he passed, everybody's going to talk about, oh, just live in the moment. Tell people you love them right then, right? And then a week went by, and it got a little less. Then 2 weeks went by, and nobody even said anything about it anymore.
It's both.
So no, it's not both. It's not both. So now that this coronavirus and a Cinderella story doesn't get to fully develop, now it's, oh man, but what about them? Well, hey, now you're going to understand the importance of when you get the opportunity, your freshman year, your sophomore year, your junior year, don't waste it. Don't say, oh, we get it next year.
Yeah, but you could only perform to the best of your abilities at the time. That whenever you're a freshman or sophomore, you try to do your best, but there's going to be a natural cap.
No, it's not.
I mean,
no, it's not.
What do you mean? Like Michael Jordan, his freshman sophomore year wasn't Michael Jordan his junior year or his rookie or sophomore year.
Of course, obviously you either get better or you get worse.
Yeah,
but you still maximize your opportunity. I mean, you got to think. Michael Jordan is a freshman at UNC. What did he do?
He hit the game-winning shot. But I'm sure his sophomore and junior year, he was better than his freshman year.
All I'm simply saying is this, man. Take advantage of the moments you get. Because tomorrow's not promised.
That's fair.
So don't give me this sob story about Dayton this year when they had 4 years to produce. All those seniors on that roster, they had multiple years to produce. I don't care.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay. It just helps me make a point that hey, all this stuff shouldn't.
It doesn't. If you want to live in the moment, you should have done it. Don't waste time. I think that's what you're trying to get to. Don't waste time. And clearly we can say that those guys might have been wasting time.
It's not. It's to the point of, hey, maybe NCAA should have done that weekend tournament they were talking about and given Dayton a shot.
And then think about how many people could have contracted the coronavirus.
I don't know. I'm sure they would have done no fans. It just would have been players. Just
exactly.
televised.
And still think how many people would have contracted the coronavirus.
I don't know. I really don't know. The exposure wouldn't have been like that. That would have been under 50, right? In terms of players.
But all it takes is one person.
Right, but then what are we doing in terms of, all right, people are out and about in Southside, out and about.
But that's why, what did the mayor just say? They put a mandate that, hey, you cannot, by 5 p.m., you need to close these establishments. And if it's not an essential business, like a grocery store, like a pharmacist, that he's encouraging you to close all those. And then they also said that they're going to make sure that they give you paid sick leave. That's the next thing they've already implemented. So they're cutting out all those excuses because they saw how people reacted this weekend, not taking it seriously. And they understand that, hey, if you don't want this thing to spread more because we don't fully understand it, you have to take these steps. If you don't, then you're going to ultimately be a part of the reason why it spreads more, because we don't have enough information on it. It's not saying you have to panic. It's just simply saying that, hey, until we know what to do, everybody chill out.
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, man. It's tough because people they can't just wait. Just chill. Jeez.
I can.
I laugh because people complain about, man, I always got to do this. I never have enough free time, man. I'm always on the grind. And now when it's something that really tells y'all, hey, sit down and chill out. Now people are antsy.
Dude,
now I can't sit. I got to move. I got to do something.
Oh my, trust me. If this was happening whenever I was first working downtown out of college or in school, I would be loving this right now. But dude, I love what we're doing. I'm passionate about what we're doing.
But my thing is this.
We need more stuff.
But this the thing. It's plenty of content.
Oh, there is. We're going to have fun with it.
Exactly. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. How does the coronavirus affect what we do?
It doesn't. But
so stop trying to get, you just want to have mass hysteria for the sake of mass hysteria.
No, I don't. I don't want that. I just want some sense. And this is my sense. This is my sense that I'm giving.
But my thing is this. I understand you saying this is your sense, but you're trying to jeopardize the nation as a whole with your approach, because you know what happens there, right? So Libsyn, right? That's people that we upload the podcast to. So no, we'll put it in terms that you can apply to yourself, right?
Okay.
Or you think about the people at YouTube, right? So say they go with your approach. Hey man, let's go ahead and do what we do, man. Put the sporting events on, man. We tripping, we overreacting, and then they start to contract the coronavirus, and now they can't work. And now we can't upload our podcast. Now we can't upload our videos on YouTube, or social media gets shut down because now they can't work and manufacture social media where it's supposed to be done on the back end standpoint. So then what? Now we really just sit here twiddling our thumbs, all because what? All because people ain't want to just chill. All because we didn't want to take the approach of respecting it. We just wanted to just, hey, Deke said live, man. Deke said, man, just do the basketball tournament on the weekend, man. Deke said bring the NBA back in May. You see what I mean?
Yeah, but you even said this on the last one. If you were in my position, you'd probably feel the same way. Similar, very similar.
This is the thing. I'm trying to educate you.
I know. Listen,
so
dude,
just let me help you out.
I get all that. I get all of what you're saying, but I can't help my feelings. So I just wanted to vent and get that out there. That's all. I get all of what you're saying. You have all this, and I want to put all that in the back of my mind and not really realize it,
and then wake up and regretting it. We're having regrets, like, dang man, we should have just listened. Now we're like stuck. We can't record. We can't upload. we have nothing. Everything is shut down. That's what you want? You realize the whole country right now that's shut down.
I don't like it, but
it's a whole not America. It's a whole country that's shut down.
And I don't like it, but hey.
And I'm sure it was plenty of them that took your approach or thought like how you thought. All I'm saying is wisdom is, I don't have to go through it to learn it. Wisdom says I can watch you go through it and I can learn from your mistakes.
Right.
So can we all show some wisdom and learn from these other countries' mistakes? So that way we don't have to follow suit? That's all I ask.
Okay. That's
Is it that hard?
I don't know. Sometimes you do have to experience it. Sometimes you do.
I don't need to experience getting shot to know that looks like it sucks. Like what? That's wisdom. Do you need to get shot to experience? Oh man, I think that sucks. We had Giuseppe on, right? What did he say? What did Giuseppe say? We had Giuseppe Jones come on when he was playing in American Saint, and that play got canceled because of the coronavirus. But he said, I don't need to be a method actor. He said, I don't need to go cut my wrist to realize it hurts. I don't need to go live on the street for 3 weeks to prepare for a role to realize being homeless sucks. I don't need to do that. So all I'm saying is, for me, it's certain things I don't need to experience. I don't need this. I can watch you and say, hey, I know that sucks. I'm cool on that. I'm going to take a different route. You sound like a method actor right now. Nothing against method actors, but you sound like a method actor.
No, I don't want that. I'm not. It does, I'm not saying, hey, give me the virus.
You said you need to experience some things sometimes.
No, for you to appreciate what you had, I guess.
Yeah, so go experience the coronavirus. Go experience your a mandated 2-week quarantine. Then we'll go back to recording on FaceTime.
Nah,
that'll be how we have to do it then.
I'm good.
You sure?
I'm good.
Because you need to experience it, as you said, right? Some things you need to experience.
Man,
you told me you need to experience something. I want spread your wings, Deke. Go out there and get coughed on.
The Masters, the NBA.
Go lick on door handles right now at Giant Eagle.
That's extreme.
And Walmart. No, man, I want you to experience what this is like, bro.
That's extreme.
Go lick on somebody's shopping cart right now.
That's extreme.
And they go eat a sloppy Joe taco.
That's not what I normally do.
And lick your fingers off of it. You know what I mean? Like, go ahead, just experience that for yourself. You can tell me what it's like. I'll learn from your mistakes.
That's not what I normally do, though, day in and day out.
No. That is not what I do. Experience some things, man. Go experience.
Why can't it just be do what you do day in and day out? Wash your hands a little more.
Because doing what we've done day in and day out has led us to this.
Wash your hands a little more. Eat healthier.
People don't do that, though.
And work out.
When the last time you worked out?
Oh, dude, I've been working out. Can't you tell? Look,
did you work out today?
No, I didn't. Yesterday. I went for a walk. I went for like an hour walk.
Hey, man, all right, bro.
Did about 120 push-ups or something like that. Dude, look, I'm looking good now. I'm looking better.
All right, bro. I'm with you, man.
I'm not trying to puff myself up or anything, but this is one of the ways I'm combating the coronavirus. I'm eating healthier.
Man. All right.
I'm working out. Just some simple things that people want to bypass. Do that stuff. Do your day in and day out. Dude, I think you're gonna be good.
Hilarious, bro.
I'm not.
You are hilarious. I always said I went on a walk, did 120 push-ups. I eat healthy. I'm good to go. Golly.
Had some broccoli last night. Some chicken. Yeah.
Shout out to Deke, man. That's why you were a Deke, though, bro. That's what you're the man.
I'm overrated. But...
Nah, man. That's what makes you you. So, in the midst of this coronavirus conversation that we totally weren't even planning on having, it just kind of happened organically.
Thank you. Like I said, thank you to the NFL because we have some news here.
Well, so first off, over the weekend, the CBA proposal was agreed upon. It was officially ratified. So, updates to that. If you haven't seen all the details, 17 games scheduled starting in 2021, expanded playoff format starting in 2020. Players' revenues go up to 48.5% for their shares. Minimum salaries will go up by $100,000. Trying to think. I think that was the gist of
big one. Wait, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was about to say the salary cap was increased, and then also now because this isn't the final year of the CBA anymore, now you can't use the franchise tag and transition tag. You can only use the franchise tag. Let me think what else. Also, the testing for THC, no longer suspensions. They've increased the threshold on it, and they cut down the testing window from 4 months to only 2 weeks now. So players will still get tested, and players can still fail drug tests. But now, instead of them being suspended, they'll be entered into different rehabilitation programs and stuff like that. I'm trying to think. I think that was the gist. They also increased some of the pensions. Yeah, the pensions for anybody pre-93, pre-2011, any of the retired players doing those CBAs, their benefits and retirement packages have been boosted. They did take away for the guys who have been permanently disabled from football. You used to use the total and permanent disability package along with Social Security, but now they're making it where you can only use one or the other. So that was a big negative with that. They also reduced the padded practices from 28 to 16. Cut down the amount of time on the field for those padded practices from 3 hours to 2.5 hours. And they also cut down a preseason game from 4 to 3. Yeah, I think that's all the information right there in that CBA, man.
Yeah, that's about everything we discussed too. Yeah. So not really any, I guess.
What was your reaction to it, man? The vote was a 60 vote difference. So 1,019 to I think it was 969 or something or 959. And they said roughly 500 to 600 players didn't even vote.
Yes, I saw that. It was close. Mm-hmm. I didn't have much of a reaction because I kind of had that feeling it was going through. Mm-hmm. And I had a feeling it was going to be close too because there was like a 50-50 split with it. And it just seemed this is the direction things were going. And the owners were kind of savages with how they played this whole thing out. And it is what it is. I mean, I wanted the 16 games to stay. I wanted the 6 teams to stay. And all the things that you mentioned, how this doesn't really help the players' health. Mm-hmm. They probably should be getting more money, especially with these new TV deals coming that
now we're going to be negotiated with instead of the NFL saying
now we got this locked up for 10 years.
So now
actually, I guess 11 years, really.
Yes. So now it's a totally different ballgame for those guys when they go to negotiate that.
But then at the end of the day, you got your NFL for 10 years. As a fan, you're going to be entertained. You're going to be watching it. And then I guess more immediate though, it definitely helps the Steelers this season because we have more cap space.
Correct.
And I saw some other things. I think in general we have more cap space, but then there's other ways we're able to restructure some contracts.
Yeah, so you're able to do more of the restructuring now. The new salary cap wasn't as high as anticipated. So initially there were reports it would be around 230 million. It was only at 198 million. So with that and the increase in the minimum salaries, the Steelers were still very hard up against that cap, but they have the flexibility to do some of the restructures. And they've also been releasing some players that we'll actually get into a little bit later in the podcast to make some adjustments to that. But it definitely helped them out and gave them a ton more wiggle room to get under the salary cap.
Yeah, so I don't have too much of a reaction. It seems like for some players it's a good deal. Obviously, for some players, the veterans, the star players, it doesn't really make too much sense. For the fans, we got football, but I guess the scarcity, the beauty of the 16-6 is gone, and this could be a slippery slope down the line, which I'm not the biggest fan of either. But I guess at the end of the day, we got football, so I'm not.
Yeah, man, when I looked at it, I wasn't surprised regardless if it was going to get passed or not. I was just a little surprised at how close it was because traditionally with these votes, you get a lot of people that do not participate or everybody just follows the leader. So when we know a deal like this, which targets the majority of NFL players, which are minimum salary or lower middle class guys from an economic standpoint, traditionally it would have been a 65 to 70% swing for those guys because you just anticipate all of them saying yes.
So you think this was closer than you thought it was going to be?
Heck yeah.
Really?
I mean, a 60 vote difference, that's like razor thin. Yeah, so this is my thing. So not saying I thought it would be close. I thought it wasn't going to be close at all.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I guess I didn't realize that you had that that mindset with it.
Yeah, so this is the thing. So you're very fortunate if you ever get a chance to vote in the CBA because it happened every 10 years. Average career span is 2.5 to 3 years. So if you don't come in or are leaving out during that time frame, you never see this. I was fortunate enough to be a part of the 2011 CBA. So even with that, the information, it wasn't as prevalent as this deal was. So a lot of people didn't understand everything fully. The media surrounding it was nowhere near the same, so it wasn't talked about as much. And then guys just overall didn't really have a real interest in understanding the facts and why it was so important. Whereas this time around, it was so much more information that it got to the point where I'm like, man, if the majority of the NFL is the target for this deal, traditionally the guys would just say, okay, well, that's what we're supposed to vote yes to. We're all going to vote yes right here. And you would get that lopsided swing, and only the high end guys, the JJ Watts, the Aaron Donalds, the 1%ers, those would be the guys who would vote no. But you could see in this, it was pretty much right down the middle in terms of guys voicing their opinion on both sides of the fence. Even some minimum level guys understanding why this deal doesn't benefit them in the long term. Now, when we're looking at the pros and cons of the deal, for me, I can see pros and cons for each person. I think the owners definitely won big because out of everyone, they got what they wanted. And that was a 17 game schedule. That was the expanded playoffs. That was what they really wanted.
Yeah.
For the players, I break it up into, as a whole, players won just because the brand of football continues to grow. That's more money. They obviously got an increase in the revenue shares. That's more money. The reduction of padded practices from a health standpoint, you can say that's a win. Perks, I think it's a loss because I've never played in any preseason game or had a training camp practice where my body was so sore I couldn't sleep or I hurt to walk the next morning. Whereas you playing one regular season game, you're going to feel that.
Yeah.
Those 60 NFL game snaps, you can give me 1,000 of those training camp snaps and it will never feel the same. You can give me 10 preseason games, it's never going to equal that. And I think that's the biggest difference. And I took offense to some of it was actually one NFL analyst in particular who used to be a quarterback, but he was pretty much a journeyman, played 12 seasons, but never really started. And he's trying to sell this deal as, hey man, the reduction in training camp practices and the one less preseason game, I think that's a fair turnoff for one regular season game. And I'm like, Well, you've never played like that, nor were you in the trenches, which I was. And I know firsthand what it feels like after one of these regular season games. I know firsthand what it feels like to have conversations with guys who can't sleep at night after a game because you're in so much pain or you're jacked up on whatever other stimulus you need to get you through the game. You never feel that in training camp. Not even close. You never feel that in the preseason, not even close.
That's funny.
But just hearing the guy say that, man, it really just put me off. But then I had to understand that for him, he's trying to do a job. And that's to say what he needs to say on a national television platform, man. Like I said, and for me, I just look at it like this, man. If you don't understand it, if you've never experienced it, and you don't have the wisdom to have conversations with individuals who have and take heed to that, then you probably shouldn't say certain things about it. And that was the thing that made me really take offense to it, because it's like, just hearing this dude, I'm like, bro, first off, you've never played like that. And then the fact that you're trying to equate training camp practices and preseason games to one NFL game, cut it out. Not even close.
That's funny, man. The other thing, though, I guess that was pretty good was the no suspension for weed or THC, right?
I guess fans would say it's a good thing. For me, if you understand,
I remember talking to you about this.
And I was gonna say, if you understand the way the NFL's drug policy is set up, it was never set up to find the casual smoker, because they tell you when you're gonna get tested, regardless of the 4-month window. Essentially, the 4-month window was the last week of OTAs and the first week of training camp was when you could get tested. But they were gonna tell you, when your test is coming. Period. They know, when it is. So if you fail, it's not because you're a casual smoker, it's because you're an addict. So the reason why the NFL would suspend players is because they're saying to themselves, hey, if you can't withhold from using THC products for the 30 days that you need to do, when I'm telling you right now, if you don't get tested at the end of OTAs, you're getting tested in training camp the first week. If you can't abstain from that product for that period of time, then you really do have a problem. You really are an addict. And that's why it's set up the way it was set up. So now people are like, oh man, this is great, man. Bring back Martavis, bring back Josh Gardner, all these guys. That doesn't help them, right? Because the testing was never designed for a casual smoker. It's plenty of casual smokers in the NFL. I'm pretty sure probably 90% of your favorite players are casual smokers. And if they don't smoke, they do some form of THC, whether it's edible, whatever it may be. But the difference is they're not addicted to that product. Right. So they're able to say, you know what? Hey, if I know I got a test coming up, I'm not going to use this right now. I can wait 30 days. And then as soon as that test is over, they don't test you again. So then you can use that narcotic however often you want. You can drive to the facility. You can smoke it on the way into the facility. I've seen it. But when they start suspending players, it's because, okay, first off, you don't even get suspended the first time you fail. So it's not as if, oh, this was a surprise. Oh man, I got. All right, I got to get suspended. No. The first suspension, the first failed test is anonymous. Your coaches don't even know. Nobody knows. The NFL push on the program. Okay, try to get you rehabilitated. We're gonna have it. You're gonna increase your testing. Okay, once you fail again, now you're getting suspended. Then, okay, you know all this stuff already. You come back, you fail again. That's your third fail. Okay, now we're going to suspend you even longer, because they're trying to help you. They're trying to fix you from that addiction that you have. It's no different than people that drink alcohol. Yeah. Man, if everyone could drink, right? There's nothing wrong with drinking. But if you're an alcoholic, there is an issue with that. Is there not? And that's what this is targeted for. It's targeted for addicts. So by them saying that, hey, well, now we're just not going to suspend the players, that still doesn't help the addicts. Right. Your favorite player, if he's an addict, it doesn't matter. Because when he gets on that field, if he's addicted to that drug and he's using that drug to a point where it's going to jeopardize his play, well, hey, how does that help you out? How does that help your favorite player out? How does it help your favorite team out? It doesn't. Yep. But that's how they mask it with this whole, well, hey, man, now we're just going to test only for 2 weeks, man. Y'all guys are good. Hey, we're going to bump the threshold up. For the casual smokers that are in the NFL, that doesn't move the needle for them. They don't care about that, because they know, hey, man, we've been able to hold back. Because what's the difference when they start that 2-week window of, okay, now you know your test coming right now, right? This first 2 weeks of training camp. You still got to stop for 30 days to get it out your system. So please tell me, what's the difference? And that's the thing that I just found funny, but how, once again, with the national media, they try to spin that as, hey, man, that's a big thing, man. Big win. Yeah. That's a big win for the players. Like, it's not. Yep. Especially when you're talking about the flip of what you gave up was a 17th game. Please tell me how that was a win. How does that help him out?
No, it's a good point. It's a good point. I instantly thought of all that we've talked about before. Whenever that was brought up, I was thinking like, man, how I know the system is right now. I mean, I don't know how big of a difference is. I mean, it's cool just from the standpoint of it's not taken as seriously because the whole thing with the NFL and some of the fans were arguing like, oh, how are these dudes getting suspended just for smoking a plant versus, you know, the domestic violence and this and that, where the suspensions were, I guess, comparable and people were complaining about that. Like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Well, and I would say too, man, in response to that, the reason why when you would look at some of these players receiving lengthy suspensions for the THC was because, like I just listed, it wasn't their first offense.
Right.
It wasn't their first time failing tests. It was multiple times. And then on top of that, it's like when I tell you the system is set up to find addicts. If you are an addict and you keep going down that path, it's no different if you got a friend who's addicted to coke or crack. What are you going to do? You're going to have an intervention for them, right? You're going to, hey, we got to get this person. We can't let them go to work. We got to stop them and we got to lock them up and put them in some type of rehabilitation. That's what the NFL is trying to do to the players that keep failing these tests multiple times. They're saying, hey, man, how can I help you? Okay, you can't help yourself. Well, we're going to make you get help. And that's the difference in that. That's why, whereas as soon as you have a domestic violence situation, and the thing too, when people talked about that a lot of players were very vocal about our frustration with the domestic violence policy is because before the facts come out, you're suspended. Before the facts come out, you're guilty. And that was the one thing that we hated. We said a young lady or individual can just simply make the allegation. And before any fact is out, the public court says you're guilty. Roger Goodell suspends you, and you're losing all this money. You get blackballed and have a black eye on you, all because of an allegation. And then 6 months later, when they come to find out, oh, she was lying.
You lost that time.
You already lost that. You lost that money. Your legacy is ruined. And that was the one thing that we all hated. It was plenty of times we've had very heated discussions in Pittsburgh when the NFL would come in and have these conversations about domestic violence. Because we would say, y'all don't have our back in this situation when we are targets. Anybody can make an allegation right now and we're stuck. We're always going to be the losers in this. Always. How many times have we seen people, hey man, that person raped me, for NFL players, and then the reports come out later, oh man, that wasn't the case. Oh, prime example, Sean Oakman, Baylor University. Remember, he was supposed to get drafted, right? The big buff diesel dude, everybody had the memes look rocked up. Report come out right before the draft. Oh man, he sexually assaulted a young lady. Then what? A year later, they actually go to trial and everything, comes to find out that she was lying, made it up. Whole career ruined. Money gone. But when you're in this spotlight, when you're in this limelight, you're always guilty. And that was one thing that we always were frustrated about. Now I'm over here venting.
Yeah. No, it makes it... Did that change at all? Because that wasn't necessarily the case with AB this year, right?
Well, no.
They got released because he was acting up.
No, no. The reason why the Patriots released him was because once the allegation came out, they're telling him to lay low and not say that.
That's what I mean.
And then
he started
texting. He texted the chick.
Right.
That was the whole reason why.
But I'm talking.
But the anticipation was that Goodell was going to put him on an exempt list.
Okay.
That was the anticipation. So it was like, okay, the report came out on, was it Monday or Tuesday? And it was like, all right, by Friday, he's more than likely going to be on the exempt list. Okay. But before then, he starts making those texts, and then from there, they're like, "Well, now you're forcing our hand. We're just going to release."
I guess I thought that Goodell was going to do the whole benefit of the doubt thing that you mentioned. I thought he was going to let him play
on the exempt list,
okay.
And that's what we fought for recently to make the exempt list, because we said that's the equivalent to police officers when they have shootings, right, and they have the trials, they go on suspended leave or paid like.
So the exempt list for AB this year would have been he was still been getting paid.
Anthony Chickalow.
Okay.
Anthony Chickalow had the exact same situation with his girlfriend at the time. Has the domestic altercation. Roger Goodell puts him on the exempt list, so he's still paid while they're investigating the situation. Then once all the details came out, he didn't have to lose money, and once it found out that everything was fine with it, they let him resume play. Gotcha. Whereas before then, probably been 2015, 2016. Up until that point, they were just suspending guys without pay.
Yeah.
And then the details will come out later, and then the guy could be innocent. And it's like, you're not going to pay us back any of that money we lost. You don't go on the public campaign of trying to make our image be repaired. You don't countersue the young ladies who are the person who's making these allegations. And that was the biggest issue. That was our biggest complaint.
Got you. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. All right. Yeah. Because I didn't listen. We just sit back. We hear what we hear from the media, and
of course.
No, but it's interesting because like all this stuff is going on behind the scenes you don't really know about. So I'm glad
it's a lot that goes into this thing, man.
I guess I'm glad we're talking about it. Yeah.
That's the reason why a lot of the guys are typically frustrated with how the media and how the public perceives us at times, because it's like it's so many other factors that people don't even know about. And the consumer, the fans, are the first ones to say, hey man, if they were in trouble, they want the benefit of the doubt. Hey, we're innocent until proven guilty. We're this, we're that. You got to give us a fair trial. But when it comes to athletes, you don't get none of that. When it comes to athletes, you are guilty until proven innocent. When it comes to athletes, hey man, suspend him. Take his money. When it comes to athletes, they're the first ones that say, hey man, fire that dude. He needs to get cut. He should never be able to play in the NFL again. How many times have we heard that? That person should be banned from the NFL. Imagine if you are a lawyer and you get in trouble. And I say, man, you should be banned from being able to practice law. How are you going to find a way to live? What's your new profession?
Right.
Like you spend your whole life preparing to be a lawyer. And now I say, hey man, because your mistake, you're banned. You can never work in the law field again.
Even after legal things play out and it proves you're innocent.
Yeah. You hear it all the time.
But yeah, even when that happens though, like you said, there's a black stain on your reputation there.
Or they say, man, he paid her off. Man, they paid to make that go away. It's frustrating, man.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it is. I guess it's like I said though, it's interesting to hear all this, and I think an element that is in play though is probably a little bit of jealousy. Probably.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, it happens.
How many times do you hear it? Man, these athletes should be getting paid like this.
Yeah,
this is ridiculous.
It happens.
But at the same, it goes back to what I was talking about at the beginning. Market. It's what the market dictates, man. If people are paying this much to see players, to watch them on TV, dude, you should be getting paid as much as you can.
What's your market value?
Exactly. And here's the thing, what you guys do in terms of professional athletes, you are the best of the best of the best at what you do.
The 1%.
So if you play that out across all industries, if you are the best of the best of the best at what you do, I'm hoping you're getting paid a decent amount.
I'm just saying, man, you can go down the list of all the top high paid guys, man. When you're that 1%, when you're the best of the best, you get compensated accordingly.
Right.
But you are right, man. The jealousy element is there. I like to not talk about it because then I feel like when you say somebody's jealous, they become more jealous. And I try to avoid that.
What do you mean? Who becomes more jealous?
I'm just saying, when you tell a fan, hey man, you're just jealous of my success.
Oh, let me say. That's why. Yeah,
that's why I said.
Let me say it.
I said I don't like to go down that route because that just makes them more. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it makes you look. Man. It makes you look bad.
Yeah. Well, why does it make you look bad? Because you're being honest.
I don't know. Maybe
because it makes that person feel more uncomfortable about it, and then they want to attack you even more. And then the other person with them was like, man, you know what? Bump that. I don't like him either. I don't try to go down that route, man.
Yeah,
just rise above it.
I'll say it for you.
Nah, man, I'm good. I'm rising above all that nonsense.
Well, I'll say it in general. Then.
So,
with the CBA, what are we talking about?
So now, with the CBA being approved,
okay,
we've led ourselves to where we currently are right now, which is a unique situation here. So, NFL free agency and the league year are both scheduled to start on time, which is this Wednesday, March 18th. Now, the uniqueness of all this is they still have a hold on the visits and stuff like that. So some of these deals that could potentially be happening once the tampering period officially starts, which should be by the time y'all get this, it should be started by then, is going to be unique in the sense that they're going to have to negotiate these deals and sign these deals without potentially being able to meet in person, without potentially having the doctors, like the team doctors want to go and check out a guy who might have tore his ACL to see if it's degenerative. They want to check out all these other things, the body language. I mean, for the players, you want to see the city that you're going to be living in. You want to meet the coaching staff. You want to see the facilities. And they're potentially going to have to do this via FaceTime. And for me, I said this could go two ways. Either you can see guys proceeding with that, or you can see it where owners and players both say, man, you know, we're going to wait before we sign these deals. I don't know how it's going to work out either way, but that's the uniqueness of it. Just because when you sign with the team for a multi-year deal, that's one of the biggest decisions you will make. For me, for personal experience, I remember when I was signing with Pittsburgh the first time around. The difference between me signing here versus the other two teams at the time was I took my visit to Pittsburgh. I had a chance to talk with the coaching staff. I had a chance to see the city. I had a chance to say, you know what? I like this rapport with this coach. I like this rapport right here. I can enjoy this. This city is a nice place to live. Whereas I wouldn't have made that decision to just sign there if I would have never been out there before, if I would have never had visited before. And the coaches would have never signed me because as soon as we started talking, before we even got to the number side of it, it was first we need to meet. We need to talk to see what you know from a football standpoint, because you can see something on film and literally it can be a guy telling him what to do. I've seen that in person where they're like, hey, man, you supposed to blitz off the edge on this play. Hey, you in coverage on this play. And you think that person's super smart and you get him in the classroom like, oh, he doesn't know anything. So that was one of the first things we did. Get in the classroom, talk football with me. Okay, cool. Then after that, take me to do all my medical stuff. Any injuries that I've had dating back to college, they want to have their doctor check before they make this investment in me because, hey, if I sign that deal and my knee isn't good or my shoulder isn't good, well, they're wasting money. So these are all the things that transpire on these visits. And then for the higher end guys, I remember firsthand when Mario Williams flew into town in Buffalo, first defender to get a $100 million contract. It wasn't just him we had to wind it down. No, it was his girlfriend at the time we had to wind it down too, because she was a big part of it. We got to make sure she likes the city. We got to make sure that, hey, the other wives get along with her and how all that plays out. Because let's be real, you know, if the significant other don't like it, well then you ain't gonna be able to do it. That's just how it works. It plays a big portion of it, man. So for us, man, that was some of the things that transpires on these visits. And now you're talking about potentially making these decisions without having that.
With FaceTime or Skype.
Dude, that's crazy to me on both sides, not just players or owners, like both sides. Like that's asking a lot. So I'm like, I can see this go where they act like nothing's wrong and they just go with it. Or I can see it where teams like, man, we not about to commit right now. Yep. So we're going to find out in the next couple of days. Like I said, when the tampering period officially opens, that's when teams are able to negotiate. You're able to have these conversations with players. And a lot of times that's when you do get deals done or agreed upon in principle. Now, the difference is that when you agree upon them in principle, until you get that pen to paper, it's not right 100%, because some players, not like I know any personally, have agreed to deals in principle.
What?
And then turned around and signed with the team that you was already with.
Wait, what?
I don't know anything.
I don't know. What are you talking about? The only thing that comes to mind is DeAndre Jordan with the Mavs and the Clippers.
Hey, man, it's happening in the NFL as well.
NFL? Do you want to share?
Nah, I'm good, man, because I might have known a guy.
Am I missing something?
So I'll just say this. I might have known a guy who had agreed upon a deal in principle on a Saturday.
Okay.
And he was supposed to go down on a flight on a Monday. And he had made a casual stop at a facility on a Sunday, after this deal was already agreed upon in principle. And he might have signed an official deal on Sunday that wasn't the deal that he agreed upon in principle. And then he shot a text to his agent to tell the team that he agreed upon in principle that he has changed his mind.
You talking about you?
I'm not saying any names, man. I'm just saying I've seen this stuff happen, all right? It happens. It happens.
You got to look out for you, dude.
Hey, man.
You got to look out for you.
What did I tell you about? Hey, man, you know, sometimes sniffing does, they play a factor in this thing, man. Some people pregnant at the time, was a lot going on. Not saying that it was me. I'm just simply saying I've seen this.
I feel for that person, man. There's a lot going on.
It is, man. It is.
So I think in that situation, you could say it's fine. It's fine. No hard feelings.
Yeah, but no, in full transparency, man, like for me, I did get to experience that.
Yeah.
So my first go around, when I first signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers, I didn't have that. It was literally, we knew Pittsburgh was the main team. We knew it was more money on the table with two other organizations, the Browns and the Patriots. But we knew at the time, well, it's different. So you're saying, ooh.
No. I'm saying that's interesting. That's an interesting three teams right there.
Well, and the thing was this. So with the Patriots, I said I couldn't go there just because I was in Buffalo.
Really?
Dude,
because there are some players where it's just like, I don't really care.
Yeah. But for me, I was always a big fan of being loyal. That was always my biggest thing. Whether it was to a fault or whatever it may be, I was always a big fan of that. So I said, Patriots, I'm not doing that. Cleveland, Mike Patton was my DC at the time.
Okay.
He had just took the job as the head coach there. So literally, I'm coming off my best statistical season as an inside linebacker. And I'm like, oh man, my DC who helped me do this is going to be the head coach over in Cleveland. It makes perfect sense. But for me, I said, man, there's too much uncertainty with their organization. Yeah. I'm like, you're constantly firing head coaches every couple of years. I don't really feel the confidence in that. Mike Tomlin from my hometown, I'm like, well, you know what? I have a lot more confidence with him. And he was basically telling me, hey, man, I know you can play inside linebacker. but we want you to switch to outside linebacker. Right now, we're not going to pay you a lot. We're going to pay you a minimum contract, but if it works out, we'll extend you. It's that simple. Like I said. And at the time, I'm like, man, this is crazy. We just had my second child. I'm like, woo, well, this is crazy. I don't know how this is going to play out, but sure. Talk to wifey about it. Everything transpires how it transpires. Wifey green lights it. Decided to have my conversation with Coach Tom and everything like that. And like I said, we've already had a relationship just because of being from the hometown. Obviously, playing in Buffalo, we played the Steelers multiple times, had multiple conversations. Now you fast forward to the year goes the way it goes, have the success. Mm-hmm. Now we're back on the market. We're getting ready to hit the market. And now the market is a lot more robust. So we narrow it down to 3 teams. We knew it was the Giants, the Falcons, and the Steelers. Giants, they weren't going to be able to match what we were trying to do.
Wait, hold on, just real quick. Those 2 teams liked you too.
From the draft.
From the draft. Yes. That's interesting.
So I always laughed. I'm like, we always are trying to get a deal done. Like, they're always been reaching out. I'm like, oh, this is always dope. But it always falls through. So Giants end up bowing out just because, like, my market at the time, money was going up. In Atlanta, we're getting a deal done. So this is Saturday. I never forget this. We're at Eddie Merlot's. Eddie Merlot's, sitting across from my wife. She's pregnant with my son at the time. Mm-hmm. Ava's barely crawling, and I got my oldest with me, KK. We're sitting at dinner and talking to my agent. He's like, yo, Atlanta wants to pay you X amount. I'm like, sheesh. I'm looking at the text like, you sure that's what that number just said? And I remember singing a song in my mind, like, make $1 million deals on my iPhone. As I'm texting on my iPhone, I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And I'm like telling my wife, and she's like pissed because at the time she's pregnant. She's thinking like, damn, we're gonna have to move again. We just moved because it was a 1-year deal to come to Pittsburgh. So it's just so much uncertainty. And I'm like, well, if I'm gonna move to Atlanta, we're gonna buy a house, or we already bought a house in Charlotte. So it's like, well, look, you'll live there and we'll just do the commute thing. You know what I mean? I'll see you on the weekends and we'll make it work. So she was not happy with that at all. So I'm like, man, but I'm like, yo, there's so much money on the table. And at the time, the Steelers weren't trying to give me that money at the time. So I'm like, dude, man, I got to take this deal. Like, this is crazy. So I'm like halfway celebrating, halfway getting like in an argument. I'm like, man, I'm about to hit this day. We about to get these figures and you over here killing my vibe right now. But I'm understanding like the uncertainty and everything that was like associated with it, obviously. So that was on Saturday. Saturday night, I get a call. Coach T. Yo, Moats, what's up, man? What's going on with you, man? I'm down here for the owners' meetings. I get back in town. I heard that you done stopped talking to us and you got a deal done. Like, what's up? I'm like, look, man, some things were said throughout the negotiations that rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't feel like it was a fit, and this is what we're going with. So he says, you know, in this cool Coach T type voice, man, look, come in here tomorrow. We need to have a conversation before you leave. Like, all right, man, like, it's Sunday. I got one day to pack anyways before I fly out to Atlanta on Monday morning. Sign my deal. All right, bet. Out of respect for Coach, I'm like, out of respect for you, man. You're the reason why I even came here in the first place, so I definitely owe you that. Go in there and have the conversation. Some things are said. Some apologies are made. Some pockets are greased. And it turns into me texting my agent like, yo, so this is what's happening right now. They sweetened in the pot. I told them I need this, and they doubled that. And my agent, he's a willing and dealing man. He's like, well, look, I'm going to go hit these guys up in Atlanta to get them to bump that number up some more real quick. So I'm like, all right, let's do that. But in my mind, I'm already telling wifey. Wifey's like, look, I don't care what Atlanta's talking about. You're staying in Pittsburgh. So literally, we played a game for like 2-3 texts. The number keeps going up. And then I'm talking with the coaches in Pittsburgh, and they're like, we're running out, like, because this is the same year where they first extended Ben. So literally, my deal got done, and then they extended Ben. I think was that following weekend. So I'm like, man, we're running out of numbers over here. Obviously, Atlanta had a little bit more space, but Atlanta had a new head coach at the time.
Yeah.
It was
Was it Quinn?
Yes, Dan Quinn came from Seattle. It was his first year down there. So I'm like, I like that. I love what Seattle's defense was, and I obviously got good friends that played in Seattle. So I had the chance to have those conversations and know like what type of guy he is. So I'm like, man, this is great. But then wife was like, no, I don't care what they say. You're going to be in Pittsburgh. So it essentially became hey, Drew, I appreciate you getting them deals done in principle. I appreciate the number that you got it to go up to, but I got to stay in Pittsburgh. All right. So tell them to close their checkbook, even though they willing to go up another 2-3. I need to go ahead and stay here.
Wow.
So that's how that whole thing worked out. But hindsight being 2020, it was the best move I made because the success that I had on field, off the field, the money I made, I was actually able to see the whole contract. A lot of times when I look at how many guys that take bigger deals to go elsewhere and they end up staying there for 2 years or 3 years and they get released just because a change in philosophy or the organization wants to go a different direction. So for me, man, it worked out great. And I was like, man, it was dope. But I definitely felt a little slimy, man. I was telling my agent, I'm like, dude, can you tell them I'm sorry? He was like, yo, just in case it has to come back around, call him up. I'm like, all right. So I called the dude. I'm like, yo, please don't answer. Please don't answer.
Wow.
Please don't answer. He doesn't answer. I leave him a voicemail. After that, I never picked up again, man.
Wow.
Yeah, bro. It was bad. Because I just felt so slimy. Like, I told them I agreed. They were happy. I was happy. We were all celebrating. I already had my flight booked. It was, we were there.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, and then Sunday, I agreed to a deal. Yeah. It was probably like Sunday at like 4 or 5 o'clock I agreed to this deal. It was like late in the afternoon, bro.
Shout out, though.
Yeah, shout out to Coach T, man.
Well, Coach T, your wife.
Yeah, it was mainly them two because I was over here seeing dollar signs. I'm like, look, man, it's money on the table. I'm about to be in the A with Lil Jon. I already had it envisioned. I said, man, I'm finna be courtside with 2 Chainz watching the Hawks play.
Damn.
Like that was I already had it envisioned.
Wow.
I was like, I'm buying season tickets to the Hawks. I'm sitting courtside.
Yeah, we don't got an NBA.
Right. And you know, big NBA guys, you know that. I'm like, bro, I'm there. Like, it's done. There's nothing you're telling me. I'm sitting courtside the 2 Chainz. Like, that was my whole mindset. And I was like, I'm gonna have my rollie shining because I was like, I'm gonna buy me a rollie. That was my one thing. I was like, I'm gonna buy that. And I'm sitting courtside next to 2 Chainz with my rollie every game, feet on the wood, watching the Hawks.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
It worked out though.
It did, man. Because then I would have never got the chance to meet you, Deke.
I know.
So, you know,
that's really what I'm thinking about.
Man.
This whole podcast thing wouldn't be happening.
Yeah, bro.
And you know how selfish I am. So.
Yeah, man. So I'm glad it worked out that way.
Yeah, dude.
Definitely left a lot on the table, but it was worth it.
I think so.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's a good place.
Oh, it's a great place, man. And the people are great here.
Thank
City
you.
is awesome here.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, man.
Because I know I appreciated it, hearing it. Again, I know I already talked to you about this.
We've had this conversation.
But you told it in a much better way this time. And the listeners truly appreciate that.
I try to give you some details, but at the same time not go too far.
Well, your emotions were more into this one too.
Yeah.
I mean, we are on the mic, so that makes sense.
Yeah, and I look at it this way, man. Like, I feel like it was very appropriate too, obviously with the tampering period going on right now. Because these are some of the things that you experience. These are some of the decisions that are made. These are some of the thought processes that you have. You're just like,
but
man,
not
so
being able
much.
to meet in person now, that just makes
that
it
changes everything. I'm like, I would have, even with us agreeing with that deal with the Falcons, they could have faxed me that contract. I was not going to sign that contract because I had a chance to fly down there, see the city,
meet in person,
talk to the coaches, see the facilities. Like, no, it wasn't going to happen until then. And a lot of players feel the same way. So that's the part that's different. Even when I signed with Arizona, they told me the contract. I wasn't signing that until I got out there and I got to see the coaches, see the facility. And also for them, they were the same way. They wanted to check my medical out, see what I weighed. Because a lot of times, like, you got guys that play at one weight, but they'll get fat in the offseason. We see it every year. And they're like, man, I need to see, okay, are you healthy? Are you in somewhat shape? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on with you?
Yep.
So.
Wow. Yeah, a lot of play there.
Yeah, but right now, man, these things are still happening. So some of the moves, though, we'll talk about the steals, but they made first.
Yep.
Right before we got on the podcast, we saw that Anthony Chickalo, Mark Barron, and Johnny Holton were all released.
You got the numbers? Do you want me to pull up the numbers of like what
from a cap standpoint?
Yeah.
It's supposed to give them around 14 or 15 million, and then at the same time, they're trying to trade Ramon Foster, and if they can't trade him, then they'll plan to release him. Yeah, because they said with Chick, he counted for 5. I think Mark was at 7.
6 or 7.
Yeah,
but so if you add all that up,
Johnny Holton in there as well.
Yeah, if you add all that up, that's definitely double digits.
Yeah, so that was, like I said, before we started recording, I'm sure there's going to be some restructuring that's going to be taking place as well, because they did officially franchise tag Bud Dupree today as well. And Javon Hargrave, shout out to him, man. You saw he commented on your page.
He did.
That's my dog, man. He looked at you. He commented on yours, but the shot was at me. That's my dog.
Was it? I thought it was.
Talking about the ceiling. So
he said ceiling, and it looked like
crazy eyes
from the emojis, like he bumped his head on the ceiling.
Like,
that's what I was getting from it.
I looked at it like, oh man, you done lost your mind. No, I'm wild with him. That's my guy, man. That's why I love him, because I know like he's like me. We both got that 1AA mentality. Obviously, he went to South Carolina State. But understanding being a small school guy, overachieving and get a chance to get paid. Now, granted, he's about to hit the lottery. So, I mean, for me, I was super proud of him. And even when they said they franchise tag Bud, the first day that he posted on his Twitter, like the excited eyes, like, oh yeah, he about to go hit a check. Because that's the thing, like as players, you don't want to get franchise tagged because that caps your value.
Yeah.
When you're able to hit the open market, when you're hot in your prime, oh, that's when you could break the bank. That's special. That doesn't happen often. And that's why, like, regardless of how people wanted to spin it, whether it was going to be, oh, you need to tag Hargrave and let Bud walk, either one of those guys was going to win. Whoever didn't get tagged was going to be the winner, not the guy who got tagged. Because when you get tagged, you're capped. So Bud, for example, this year he's capped at 15.98 for the franchise tag. Whereas if he would have hit the market, who knows what he would have got? Who knows?
That's fair. Yeah.
And that's the thing. So like for fans, they try to spin it. Oh man, why would we tag Bud? Let Bud lead. For the players, you're like, dude, I would love to hit the open market in my prime because I'm gonna go break the bank. But that's the perception. That we always talk about perception versus reality.
Yeah, makes sense.
Fans look at it from one way. Players look at it a totally different way.
Makes sense.
Yeah, you're trying to be free.
I just checked real quick. It's 11 million with those.
Okay.
Three.
Yeah.
I'm assuming if Foster gets released, then it will be the 15, 16 then.
Because they say because they're still trying to trade Ramon. They have had conversations about Vince, but they still haven't said what they're going to do with him or not. And then I also saw where they said Al Villanueva could potentially be a cap casualty as well. So that's very interesting. Yeah. So it's a lot going on from that standpoint.
We're clearing the decks here.
Well, the thing is, when you got a player that's accounting for so much money on the cap, you just kind of stuck.
Actually, that deal's looking pretty good with the new CBA, right?
No, you hear these deals we're about to have to make in terms of cuts and restructures, right?
Tannehill just got paid, what, 28, 29 million a year.
Okay, Dak just got franchise tag.
Come on, man.
What are we saying?
I'm taking Ben over those two easily.
Okay. Whatever you say, man.
And money. Throw on whatever millions you want.
All right, whatever you say, man. I'm just simply saying, you see this situation we're in right now. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I think we're going to be putting together a really solid team here.
I would hope so.
I think we are.
I would hope so.
I mean, do you think any of these releases are going to be hurting us drastically?
Well, right now, if Ramon doesn't stay, if he's released, you're losing the starting left guard that's been your starter for the past 7-8 years. If it were to be Al, you're losing your starting left tackle. That just directly impacts Ben. I know we don't want to value. I know you don't. I know when we talk about no, and we'll get to. I think Johnny Halton probably had the least impact when we talk about Chicolo. That's a core special teamers. I know you don't value that until it's negative, and now you're like, oh, fire Danny Smith. That's the one. Okay. And then we obviously talk about Mark Barron. He was third on the team in tackles. Took on a large portion of the coverage responsibilities. So now you lose that. So from there, I mean, you could take how you want to take it. You can say how you want to see it. But at the same time, that's a starting linebacker who started more and played more than both Vince and Devin Bush.
Yeah, I guess it's all in what we do with the cap space. Yeah. And from my perspective, and probably your perspective,
what we done. We franchised Bud Dupree. These aren't moves that we're making to bring in new bodies. These are moves that you got to make to get under the cap to make sure that Bud and this franchise tag works out. And it all has to be done by Wednesday, March 18th. So, right, that's what I'm telling you. It's not as if, we're already under the cap, but we're making these moves for just the sake of it.
You know what I did? No. Forget about that.
Yeah, that's the difference. So when you say, "Oh, these moves, how much they gonna hurt us?" I'm like, "Well, actually,
I did forget.
We don't have
that.
money to go out there and just go. Oh, we're cutting these guys to go bring in a big time player or an above average." Like, no. We're cutting because we got 15 mil. We just talked about for Bud.
I'm just seeing everywhere just so much savings and so much cap space that we have now. I'm not really looking at the logistics of this. But we are gonna have extra cap space with the CBA, correct?
We were supposed to because they projected it to be around 230 million. With it being 198 and the increase in minimum salaries, that cuts into that. And then you also
what happened to the projection?
I don't know. I don't know how they got it wrong, but it happens.
Wow.
Sometimes they underproject it, sometimes they overproject it. Yeah, and this just happened to be an under.
Okay.
Well, this
So it might be next year that it's really bumped up after like TV
it
deals
already
are signed.
bumped up this year.
Right. No. I'm saying even more though, where it's the more drastic bump up.
Well, for a lot of teams, this was a drastic bump up. We were just so grossly over the cap when we were going to have to franchise Bud, and largely points to Ben's contract, and that's what we're trying to get at. That's the whole situation right now. Just because of when they extended him and how they restructured and everything, the contract was set up to be, it put them in a financial hole. And now you were just banking that, hey, man, he's going to have to be healthy. And even if he has trash around him, you hope that he can make it work. Now we're in this situation, so we're going to keep our fingers crossed.
We got a good team, man.
We had one last year, too. But when you see when the person that you pay that much money to, if it doesn't work out, what it looks like. That's all I'm saying.
We got him coming back, so.
All right, what was it? I'm just simply saying. You said that last year too. You saw what happened. That's all I'm simply saying.
I'm in alignment with the organization.
All right, trust me. They. All right. We ain't even go there, man. I'm not doing that today. I'm just giving you facts. That's all I'm doing. I just want you to understand the situation right now and understand the circumstance and why moves are being made the way they're being made right now.
I see that. And I'm hoping that. Man, yeah, I guess we don't really need to get into it.
Yeah, man.
I guess I'm just hoping some of these releases we're going to replace them somehow, some way. Whether it's people we got stepping up or we bring in some guys.
That's the thing. So you're going to have to lean on the draft. Potentially some of these restructures. There was rumors that if they restructured Cam Hayward, that would help him out. It's not just because of the way his contract is set up. They could potentially restructure or extend Ben.
Yeah.
And that would free up, I think it was 8 or 9 million they were saying that should help them out. But then you roll
extend
back
for another year.
But this is the thing though. When you do that, you're essentially kicking that can down. So when it hits, it's gonna right now it's hitting, it's just gonna be worse the further you kick it down. So that's the next limit. And you have to figure that whenever that does happen, you're essentially gonna be the year when Ben is not here anymore either. So now you're going to have cap destruction on top of losing franchise quarterback. That's a lot to try to overcome in a season or two. So that's why it's like a lot of decisions like that being made right now. Because what you could do today could destroy you for the next however long.
Because I'm just seeing, Steeler accounts posting those graphics where, hey, if we restructure these 6 or 7 players, we're gonna have 10 million in cap space. It's that simple.
But it's simple in terms of this season, and we've done so many restructures that's why the cap is what it is right now for us.
Well, we used to do it a decent amount in the past with some of our
we do
players.
it all the time.
Yeah,
that's I remember what the Steelers do.
I remember Ben's been restructured. I don't know how many times.
AB was getting restructured all the time. Tua was getting restructured. Everybody, we will all say this, man. You're gonna sign your deal, and then in a year they gonna restructure you, and then in a year they gonna restructure you again. You knew that. That was the rule. So it's like whatever they say, even though it's technically not guaranteed right now, once they restructure it, it becomes guaranteed. So it guarantees you for that year, and then you mask it as, hey, man, I'm doing this for the team. And they're like, yo, that's a great team guy, man. Look at him, man. He's doing this. He's taking this deal for the team. And it's like, no, the player's winning because he's getting a guaranteed year. And they're just kicking down all the other stuff. Like, oh, don't worry about that. Just keep kicking it, keep restructuring. And then you get a crazy cap hit for 20 mil for a guy who's getting paid 6 million. You're like, how the heck? Oh,
or not even
too many times.
Or not even on the roster. Right. I remember Lamar Woodley. Well, AB last year. Yeah.
The restructures to do that, man.
Wow.
So that's the only issue. It's like it's the equivalent to, hey, let's go out and drink today, Deke. Let's go drink. Let's go take shots. Let's drink beer. Let's rage. And then that hangover hits you that next day. The whole night you're drinking, or you not think about the hangover, you just living, right? Hey man, we got through it. We're good. We got through it. I ain't Earl, you ain't Earl, we good. Then that morning hit when them bills would come due and that hangover gets you. You're like, oh my God, what did I do?
That's a good analogy.
And that's where we're at right now. We're at all right, we're going to keep drinking and we're going to make this hangover hit for another day, or we're going to live. I mean, like, and that's the thing we're trying to figure out right now. So when we get off this podcast, it's probably gonna be a lot more new information transpiring too.
I typed in Steelers on Twitter. I didn't see anything pop up like on. But
the biggest thing is today is what, Monday, March 16th. So they have until Wednesday, March 18th to get in accordance with the cap. So they essentially have 2 more days before they have to make some of these hard moves, some of these restructures and things like that. Today was just the head start in terms of making those releases.
That's when you could officially sign Bud.
No. So they tagged him today. That was official today. But
it doesn't take place till Wednesday?
No. The way it works is this. So you designate who you're going to franchise tag. You have to have those in by today.
Okay.
By Wednesday, when the new league year starts, every team has to be under the salary cap. So you essentially have a 2-day grace period of, okay, once you decide who you're going to franchise tag.
Got you.
Then on top of the franchise tag, you remember the tampering period, right? So you can agree upon deals in principle, right? So that helps them kind of project, all right, we franchise tag this person. Think for the Cowboys, for example, right? They franchise tag Dak. Now, say they can't get a deal done with Amari. Okay, but they see another receiver, they can agree upon a deal in principle for, say it's another 10, 15 million. Well, now they can, okay, well, shoot, that money plus that money. All right, I know we're sitting here. The cap is this, so I know who I need to release, who I need to cut, or who I need to extend or restructure before Wednesday hits so I can make sure we're under the cap. And that's how that whole thing works. Gotcha. So right now, they've already designated the tag to Bud. They can't take that back right now. That's done. Now, he hasn't signed it yet, so he hasn't received that cash. Once he signs it, that's when he receives the cash, and that's when it's like the hard, all right, chop it out of the salary cap. But they can't just play and act like, oh, well, he hasn't signed the deal yet. We can use that 15 mil anywhere. That's not how it works.
That's how I was thinking.
As soon as they designate it to him, they have to leave that alone for the tag. Mm-hmm. And that's why a lot of people were pissed when Le'Veon 1 year, after he signed it the first year, remember the second year we ended up never signing it? That 14 just sat there and they never used it.
Damn.
Yeah. But you couldn't take it back and say, oh, well, we'll just wait. Or we'll go use it somewhere else. You can't, because from a cap standpoint, they already have to have that money accounted for.
Yeah. He would have just been open market then.
Correct.
If they didn't tag him. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, so we got the Steelers covered. There's been a lot of moves that have been popping.
Yeah, man. So, first off, because right now there's been a lot of trades. The big trade was DeAndre Hopkins and a 4th rounder to Arizona for David Johnson and a 5th rounder.
Your boy David Johnson.
Stop it. That was insane. Wow.
On a contract. You see his contract?
Dude, yes.
It's like lower teens for the next 3 years. That is definitely insane.
I got to look more into what was going on with DeAndre. Did he beat somebody up? Did something happen off the field? I don't know, because that's crazy. You don't make that trade, bro. Maybe he had an issue with Bill O'Brien. I mean,
well, that's what people are saying now. But
head coach, GM.
How could you have not gotten a first rounder for him?
I agree 100%.
Unless they really like David Johnson down with the Texans. I have no clue.
Dude, I don't either.
I mean, how much better? Well, they had Carlos Hyde last year. I think he's a free agent.
Okay.
But that's what I mean. I don't know how much better David Johnson is than Carlos Hyde.
Under any circumstance, does David Johnson or Carlos Hyde, separate or combined, have the same impact as DeAndre Hopkins?
Oh, no.
It's not even close.
No, yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins is a generational talent. DeAndre Hopkins has always been in the conversation with the AB and Julio in terms of who the best receivers are in the NFL. You mean to tell me that you see the impact that he's had on Deshaun Watson? What are we talking about here?
No, I'm with you.
Insane.
Well, I think you've seen it this year with Carlos Hyde. I mean, he was, I thought, out of the league for a little bit there.
Right.
I mean, he had a decent run in San Fran, but then a few years later, he ends up in Houston and then has a 1,000-yard year last year. That kind of just shows you could probably do a plug and play with the running back there in Houston because we've talked about AB, the impact he has, DeAndre Hopkins.
You're not single coverage in DeAndre Hopkins. You saw when any corner that's tried it. Now, granted, Stephon Gilmore, he did have success against him. But any other corner that's tried that, remember Tre'Davious White, all-pro corner. You saw how that worked out. DeAndre Hopkins was able to take over that game, man. You don't single coverage DeAndre. You want to single coverage AB. You want to single coverage Julio Jones. There's certain players you would never going to single coverage. Michael Thomas, another guy like that. And so the fact that you trade that guy away for crumbs, I'm like, dude, you need to drug test Bill O'Brien. Like, what is going on, baby? What is going on? That's insane.
I have no clue. I think everyone is in agreement in the whole just the whole sports world that was a terrible deal for the Texans. Shout out to the Cardinals for pulling that off, I guess.
Yeah, man. I mean, you think about it, if you're Kyler Murray,
I'm mad we couldn't pull it off.
For joy right now if you're Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Holy cow. And they transitioned tag King and Drake, who, when they traded for him, he came in and beat out David Johnson and became the man up there.
Yeah, he bought out last year.
So, yeah, I mean, for Kyler, you're like, dude, I'm getting arguably he could be, depending on where you're from, he might be the best receiver in the NFL right now, depending on how you look at Michael Thomas and Julio.
I'm saying Thomas, but
yeah, I would say everybody got their opinion in that department.
But just last year we did our rankings. I think I had Hopkins 1. You had him 2, so.
Man, Julio is a freak. I mean, not Julio.
Well, yeah,
he is too, but DeAndre Hopkins is a freak.
Yeah.
Like they are in that rare breed of just special. Special. So I thought that was crazy, man. And then also Ryan Tannehill, he signed his extension with the Titans, so that effectively ended the Tom Brady sweepstakes for Tennessee. Hope that was the right decision. What do you think?
You know how I think.
Dude. You would rather have Brady instead of Tannehill?
Well, if I'm the Titans, I don't care what the Titans do. They just tank their franchise for the next 4 years here.
Hey man, they went to the AFC Championship game this year.
It was a lucky one and done for them. That's all.
It wasn't. They won 2 playoff games. How was that a one and done?
Just think of Jacksonville. 3 years ago with Bortles.
But they were just in the playoffs a year ago.
Who?
Tennessee.
9-7, getting lucky. No one's really thinking that they're actually going to win anything. That's all.
Wasn't that year they went to Kansas City on the road and beat them?
Kansas City? What are you talking about? The Mariota year?
Yeah.
And then they went to the Patriots for the divisional. I think.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, but they weren't beating the Patriots.
Oh my god! You keep making excuses.
I'm not making excuses. They're not a good team.
But they've been in the playoffs more than we have over the past 3-4 years. They need a quarter.
If they got Mahomes, or if they honestly they should have. We talked about Jameis.
They just signed their quarterback.
We talked about Jameis last podcast.
They just signed their quarterback.
If they would have got Jameis for $20 million, that would have been a better move.
Why? Who was more productive? In their offense, who was more productive?
We don't know. We don't know.
Tannehill, whose team was better than?
You just overpaid for Tannehill.
Jameis versus Tannehill. Whose team was better?
You just overpaid for Tannehill.
Whose team was better?
Who are you taking though?
Right now?
Yeah.
If I'm Tennessee, I would have took Tannehill.
Over Jameis for like 20 million.
I would have.
Man, okay.
Just because it fits. What are they trying to do? Are they trying to be a pass happy, or are they trying to turn the ball over? Or are they trying to control the clock, make the throws you need to make, and hand the ball off to Derrick Henry? And we talked about how Tannehill's passer rating throughout the year once he became the starter was high. We talked about it. That's what you love, right? Pass rating, QBR, and all that stuff. Really. It was there. It was where it needed to be.
Really.
The playoffs gave people the bad. Oh man, he's just riding the coattails. But during the regular season, he was making the throws. Think about this.
Kansas City.
AJ Brown was a 1,000-yard receiver. How does AJ Brown become a 1,000-yard receiver?
Kansas City fell apart, man.
How does AJ Brown become a 1,000-yard receiver?
Derrick Henry.
1,000-yard. Who's throwing the ball? Derrick Henry.
He made some good throws.
So don't hate.
But I don't trust him, man. He's in the same category. He
protects the ball so much more than Jameis Winston. How could you not trust him?
Jameis could come down and win me a game, though.
Or he can throw you a pick six and lose you a game.
Yeah, but if that can get out of control, like we've talked about.
If is a big thing. If Ben comes back healthy. If is a big thing.
Well, I'm projecting. I'm going off. Going off of history.
And you know the difference between projecting? we talk about this. Some people like to go with the proven product. I know Tannehill. Some people like to just hope and wish. Sniff the fairy dust. Hey, man, this will work.
But it works sometimes, too.
And then a lot of times it doesn't, though.
50-50.
No, it's probably 70-30.
I don't know, man.
I do.
We need to get... Man, I wish I had some way, maybe coming this off season. We have to have some of this stuff like just written down.
Okay.
So we can go back.
Yeah.
I was cold during the season last year.
You're cold a lot of times.
I was cold during the season, but there was
cold a lot of times, bro.
My whole equilibrium was just shaken up.
Why? Because you like to base off of hope and projection. I like to look at the facts and the details.
That's fine.
That's all I'm saying, man.
That's fine. We're different in that way, but so Tannehill, I say bad deal. What do you say about the deal?
I like the deal.
Really?
For the quarterback market? For the quarterback?
Oh, man.
Carson Wentz is getting how much?
I would take Wentz over Tannehill, though.
I'm going Tannehill.
Over Wentz?
In Tennessee?
No. In
Tennessee?
It doesn't matter what team.
Fair enough.
No way.
We all got our opinions, man. He fits what they're trying to accomplish in Tennessee.
How wouldn't Wentz, though? He's just a way better version of Tannehill.
How do you figure? First off, Wentz can't stay healthy.
All right,
Wentz has big winning. When has Wentz done any big winning? You can point to the one season he had?
He's been hurt, man. You're right.
Oh, yeah. That's it. You're right, yeah.
But I've seen...
And for how much is he costing?
I've seen some big moments.
And how much is he making?
Not a lot of talent.
How much is he making?
32.
And you can't say you saw big moments with not a lot of talent around him. The big moments that he had, the big year that he had was when they won the Super Bowl. You don't win the Super Bowl with not a lot of talent around you, so stop it.
Who was his receiver? Who was their top receiver? Jeffrey?
Alshon?
Yeah. Who was it outside of that?
Alshon isn't a talent?
No, he definitely is.
He definitely, and that was a couple of years ago, Alshon.
Zach Ertz. Who's their running back?
At the time, they were using...
Was it a Jai? Was it a combo of
they had
a couple
Jai
players?
And they had LeGarrette.
Dude, I mean... Oh yeah, I do remember them having Blunt, but are we really saying that's elite talent?
You said there's no talent.
I'm not saying no. I'm talking about last year. Like at the end of the season where he was balling out with no talent. He was. I don't think there's an argument. Just
because you make these movements and these gyrations doesn't make it correct.
No, it is, because
it doesn't.
He was balling out the second half of last year and got them into the playoffs. They had no. I think their top receiver was that. I don't even know his name actually.
Okay.
Number 84. Cool. I have no clue.
Okay. Top receiver probably would have been Zach Ertz, but that's cool.
No. Wasn't he hurt?
Zach was playing with the broke ribs.
Okay. Yeah, he was hurt.
Were you on the field?
Okay.
Nobody's healthy.
I'm just saying. Yeah, I mean,
was you on the field?
His team was banged up and it just wasn't good.
Are you done with these excuses?
No,
what's the next excuse you can make, man?
At the end of the day, I'm
taking. You playing in Philly, man. It's too windy out there, man.
I'm taking Wentz over Tannehill all day.
That's cool.
The only thing I'll give you is the injuries. Yeah.
So, what big winning has Carson Wentz had?
What big winning has Tannehill done?
Tannehill just led a team to the AFC Championship game.
Oh my, dude. Wentz has just been hurt, dude. That's all.
So I ask you again, what big winning?
That wasn't Tannehill.
So why did they make the move then if it wasn't Tannehill?
Just because he fit, like you said, he fits their system. It's enough.
No, it can't be both ways. So if he wasn't doing anything, they could have stayed with Mariota, right?
It's enough for them to get by. So why didn't they stay
with Mariota?
It's enough for them to get by. They can get by with Tannehill. They can't get by with Mariota.
To get by?
Dude, I would love to call up Vrabel or the
hating.
I would love to call up Vrabel or the Titans GM and say, who would you rather have right now? All right, you just signed Tannehill. Would you trade him for one straight up right now?
So you don't think if going by that, they wouldn't have just signed Tom Brady if that was the case?
I mean, Wentz is definitely a different category than Tom Brady. If you're doing free agency hitting the open market
right now, if you hey, let's call him up. Would I rather have Tannehill, Brady, or Wentz? Who would you rather have out of those three? Now.
All depends on what you're looking for.
No. Right now, who would you rather have? Now, who would you rather have?
For next year.
Who would you rather have?
Next year only?
Who would you rather have?
No. I'm asking. Are we saying next year? For next year?
Stop it.
For next year, Brady.
Exactly why I said Tannehill was perfect for them, man. I'm not tripping.
For next year, Brady. All right, next 4 or 5 years, Wentz.
Say whatever you want to say, man.
What do you mean?
Only two of those guys in that conversation have had big winning. Brady and Tannehill.
Big winning Tannehill? No.
What do you classify as big winning? Winning playoff games, right?
I do. But he's been hurt. He just hasn't been able to. And it
sounds like a lot of excuses.
And if we're projecting, like I like to do, then Wentz can do it because I've seen him do it in moments. Cowboys game last year.
Ooh.
Clutch.
Ooh, Cowboys game. Ooh. Cowboys make the playoffs? Ooh.
That was for the playoffs.
I'm saying they make the playoffs. Ooh.
That was for the playoffs.
What about the other 16 games? Or other 15 games?
MVP level season 2 years ago before he got hurt. Tannehill's never putting together an MVP type of season.
Tannehill was just the comeback player of the year, but okay.
I mean, you have to be down to be the comeback.
Everybody gets it.
And he's been down, dude.
There's a lot of people that have been down that haven't got that. Ooh.
Stop.
Ooh.
I mean, dude, it's definitely once over 10. That's all. I mean, we agree to disagree on that one. I guess.
We can agree to disagree.
Okay. What other move? Cousins, you want to talk him?
Well, yeah, we could talk Kirk Cousins, man.
I mean, another guy that's just I didn't even look at the logistics of the deal. I just saw he got extended for 2 more years. That's a mistake.
Yeah, I think they added it's gonna be an additional like $96 million total now over these next for the extension,
3.
like the next 3 is 96.
So yeah, a little over 30 million, kind of what the going rate is for
quarterbacks.
I get it.
See, you do get it. Okay.
No, I was gonna.
Thank you.
I didn't want to be disrespectful.
Thank you.
I didn't want to be disrespectful because I was gonna say like mid-level or average quarterbacks.
You call it what you want to call it. That's the going rate for quarterbacks. So you can't.
But Wentz is above those.
So how are you gonna sit here and say that you overpay for Tannehill, who's more productive than for Kirk Cousins?
Because it's,
like, what are we talking about?
You either want the guy or you don't. That's my opinion.
They clearly wanted Tannehill.
No. So if they think of him as their guy, the franchise guy, then they're off. That's what I'm telling you. They're off.
So they're coming off the AFC Championship because of him. And
there's 5 or 6 franchise guys.
So they're coming off of an AFC Championship game appearance because of Tannehill, and they're off now. Okay.
their offense, and he's a franchise guy. Yeah.
Okay. So it's the guy, he just led him to the championship game, but okay, you're right.
Led them. I mean, King Henry. I mean, maybe he had something to do with it.
Okay, well, put Mariota back at quarterback and see what happens. See if they even make the playoffs.
That's how bad Mariota is. That's all that indicates to me.
That's how good that Tannehill could be. Tannehill's a former first-round quarterback. Tannehill's been to the playoffs before.
I mean, he threw it away in that Kansas City game, dude.
I'm saying he's been there before.
A big loss against us. Somehow that was more of the state of the AFC, them making it.
What you mean?
Whenever they played us in the wild card.
Yeah, but he wasn't even the quarterback. It was Matt Moore.
Yeah, but he got hurt. But yeah, outside of that, he hasn't done anything in the playoffs outside of this last year.
I'm just simply saying, bro. A lot more success than your boy Wentz.
No way, dude.
Hold on, you right. Wentz is Super Bowl champ. I ain't gonna disrespect that man like that. Super Bowl champ, baby.
I think, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
All right, so Cousins. I feel the same way. I don't know if you feel any way about that.
Shout out to these Minnesota Viking quarterbacks, man. Sam Bradford's a guy like him. Just getting all the paper they can get, man.
Wait, so hold on. So you're ripping on Cousins.
I'm just saying. No. Shout out to them for getting the paper. You got the paper.
So you're less apt to pay Cousins that, but you're good with the Tannehill deal. So you view Tannehill way better than Cousins?
I'm not saying I view him way better. I'm just simply saying for what Tennessee needed and the deal that they were able to get done with Tannehill, I love it. When we're talking about the Vikings, the flip side is this. You can make the faces of, oh man, I wouldn't pay Kirk Cousins this. Okay, Kirk doesn't get paid. Okay, Kirk leaves in a year. Now you're holding your thumbs, hoping that you get lucky in the draft or hoping that you can sign a big free agent. You see, that's how teams go down the hole of never being successful, right?
You gotta go in the draft.
And you see how many teams, Cleveland, just go on the draft. Just keep going to the draft. We saw how that worked out for them for how many years? Even Buffalo, how many years it took them to find a quarterback? For how many years?
But if you bolster your team around the other, like the money you would be saving by not signing him and having a good rookie quarterback.
Okay. You know how hard it is to find a good rookie quarterback.
I guess you got to have a good coach though too, because
it's more than that. It's so many variables that go into a good rookie quarterback. So why do you say it as if it's so easy?
I'm not.
For me, I would much rather stay with the proven product.
I'm just saying 30 million is a lot.
That's not a lot. That's the market value. What's the market value? Ben is getting 34
because you do have some of these rookie QBs coming in and performing.
You have some
good contracts.
You have some, and when are they usually picked?
First round.
At what part of the first round?
Higher first round.
No. Typically top 5. All the legit quarterbacks that come and produce outside of Russell Wilson. No. Or Lamar Jackson.
Deshaun Watson.
First off, Lamar was a project. Nobody thought he was going to do that. He didn't do it in year 1. Let's be real about it.
They made the playoffs. They made the playoffs. So I'm talking more of as a team. The quarterback's contribution to the team and what he's getting paid. That's what I'm talking. So the team made the playoffs.
Okay. When did Deshaun Watson win in the playoffs before this year?
But he balled out though.
No. When did he win in the playoffs before this year?
When did he win in the playoffs? I guess he didn't win yet. Yeah.
Okay, so what's the next quarterback you say you want to go down this list for?
No, but he performed though. The Texans team, so the Vikings team is different than the Texans.
Okay, I got that. Those are 2 quarterbacks you named. Okay, continue.
Man,
because it's a list of teams that go down this road.
I'm not prepared, but I mean, I could look it up.
All I'm simply saying is
it'd be too much to look it up.
All I'm simply saying is this: the approach you're taking is a crapshoot. That's like hitting the lotto. And it's the reason why a lot of teams struggle for long periods of time. Because, oh man, we're going to build up everything else around them and just hope that this the quarterback, hope this the guy. And when it doesn't work, it just continues to be the same situation. Losing season after losing season after losing season. Which is why when you find that quarterback, you overpay for him if you have to. You think Ben was worth $34 million right now? You overpay if you have to, because you know when this guy is out there, he gives us the best chance to win. But if we go with your approach of, hey man, I'm not paying that, bro. Hey man, we just draft a quarterback. Just draft a guy to work.
What about, Derek Carr, 2nd round.
Okay. You see how far, that's 3 names you just named.
No, I'm still thinking. I had another one. Andy Dalton, 2nd round.
What about Brandon Whedon?
No.
Oh, what about Johnny Manziel?
Money Manziel.
Oh, yeah, we can keep going. We're going to keep going on the list. What about EJ Manuel?
So you're saying it's a shot in the dark, shooting dark.
Yeah. Oh, Josh Rosen, he was 10th overall pick. What about Josh?
Patrick Mahomes, though.
I'm just saying that's 4 out of name that were really opposite. And don't say Patrick Mahomes because they already had Alex Smith on the contract.
Yeah, but they picked him in 10 or 11.
No, I'm just
but
saying.
That was kind of
he wasn't coming in to be the starter day one.
Actually, no. I actually think that's a better strategy, though, of like, yo, draft a quarterback right now. Vikings.
Alex Smith was still getting paid market value at the time. The market has changed over the years, but he was still getting paid market value.
Yeah, if you want to argue the Kirk Cousins contract that he initially got for 3 years, $30 million, then that's fine. But now you only have him on one more deal or one more year. So draft a QB now, and then you don't have to pay him the $30 million the next 2 years.
Dude, do you think that Kansas City would have got rid of Alex Smith if Mahomes wasn't what he thought he was?
Right.
They knew once they drafted him, okay, we're safe here. Now we don't need to extend Alex Smith.
Be better at scouting. That's all.
So the thousands of scouts that are out there, you basically tell them they suck at their job because they get it wrong a lot.
Just be better. That's all. I mean, I think the Bears scouts, people would definitely say that.
You know, you should probably fire the Patriots scout too because they waited to the 6th round to draft Tom Brady. So they should probably get fired too, right? You know what? Kevin Colbert should get fired and his scouts because they waited to the 6th round to draft AB too, right? Probably fire him too.
Or you could look at that's funny.
I'm just saying.
No,
do better, right? That's what you said. Do better.
Or you could look at it like, oh wait, I could still draft some of these guys before AB or Brady in the 6th round and get the value there because no one's going to be taking those guys until the 6th or 7th round. That's when I'm going to pull the trigger.
So why would you, if you know this is the guy that you love, you know it's your guy, why wait?
I don't know.
Why take that chance? If anything, it's even more foolish that if you identified him 3 rounds ago and you're going to wait, that's even more foolish.
Right. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Yeah, I know what to tell myself. I'm just trying to hear how you make sense of all this nonsense you talking about right now.
I just wouldn't pay Kirk Cousins $30 million.
I'm just simply saying, man, you talking about, just draft a guy. Okay, all right, cool, sounds good. And I'm just going down the list of how many times that doesn't work. And these just off the top of my head. I'm sure if I really looked into it, it's a lot worse.
I just don't feel
Tim Tebow. Want Tim Tebow first round draft pick too?
I mean.
Oh, no, I mean.
That scout should be better too.
Yeah. We can just go down the list. We think some other first round bums. First round busts. It happens every year. It happens a lot actually each year. It happens a lot.
Man, you really think you're winning a championship with Cousins though?
Who's gonna give you a better chance than Cousins or some rookie from who knows where? It's not like the Vikings picking in the top 5 right now. Please tell me that. Then the Vikings beat the Saints in the playoffs. Oh, so that means they're in the back end of the draft.
Think of the guy. Right. Think of the quarterbacks that win the championships, though.
Think of them.
It's
Tom Brady.
Yeah, Tom Brady, Big Ben.
Okay.
Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson.
Okay. Nick Foles,
Mahomes.
Ooh, oh.
You have
Russell Wilson. Don't say Russell Wilson as if Russell Wilson was who he is now back then because he was not. So don't say that.
Listen, but that goes into my point though, in terms of rookie quarterback on a cheap contract.
No. In terms of Kirk Cousins is better now than Russell was back then. Don't go there. It's not even close. Stop it.
It factor though.
No. Don't try to make up a fairy word and just throw it out there. That's going to justify it.
I just don't want Kirk Cousins as my QB.
You just don't like Kirk, and it's fine that you don't like him. I don't have an issue with you liking the guy. All I'm simply saying is he led a team on the road versus Drew Brees, who we can still say is a top 5 quarterback, and beat him head to head. Made the game-winning throw. Remember that? The nice fade ball. Did he not do that? Please tell me he didn't do that. Did he not do that?
One time.
He didn't do that.
A blind squirrel catches a nut every once in a while.
Okay. You make it whatever you want to make it, man. You say whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
I just point the fact, you point the fairy dust. It's cool, bro.
And that's fine. Like I said, it works out sometimes. It does.
That's fine.
It does. You can cock some stuff up and
hey man. All I'm saying is I'm gonna be right a lot more than I'll be wrong that way.
We'll see. We gotta start keeping a tally. That's all.
You don't want that. You don't want to do that.
I do because
you don't want to do that, bro.
I do because even if I'm sucking, it's funny at least.
Man, because then it's gonna like have people really like anytime Deke says something, you just can't believe it. You can't roll with it, man. I like them. I like the who knows? It might be right.
I still feel like I'm right with Cousins and Tannehill, though. I've yet to be proven wrong on either.
So who would you have want over Cousins and Tannehill?
Who would I want?
That was available right now.
I'll take Burrow.
How are you going to get Burrow?
You trade some picks.
How? I said that was available right now.
I would take.
It's available right now.
I would take Jameis. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Who else is even out there? You got Phillip Rivers. I mean, I'd pay Phillip Rivers like $15 million over those two for sure.
Okay.
What do you?
Okay.
What's that face?
I don't know. Maybe you just like losing. I ain't tripping.
Come on, dude. I mean, he's gonna go to the Colts. I'll be interested to see what his contract is, though, because
you said $15 million.
You don't think he's getting that? You think if he's getting 30, then yeah, I guess you would. I don't know.
No. Phillip Rivers going to take $15 million. Okay.
Let's see what the contract is. That's all.
We'll see.
Let's see what the contract is.
So you still haven't named anybody right now.
Well,
you said you would take Jameis over Tannehill.
There's a bunch of quarterbacks that are
and we both disagreed
already,
upon that. You said you would take Tannehill. You would take Jameis Winston over Tannehill. I disagree with you on that.
And Cousins, yes.
You would take Jameis over Kirk Cousins and Tannehill.
You would take Tannehill over Cousins.
All I'm simply saying is I'm taking Tannehill or Cousins in their situation. I like Tannehill in Tennessee. I like Cousins in Minnesota. I don't like them flip-flops.
But my point is the amount of money you'd be allocating to a quarterback. Because I said the same thing last year whenever they were talking about Dak. Mm-hmm. And I said, why don't you pay Tannehill 10 or 11 million over Dak?
Why would Tannehill take 10 or 11 million?
Well, he did. What did he take? He took 7 million to go to the Titans?
Bro, what I'm saying is your market for quarterback numbers is drastically off.
Someone needs to set the market better. That's what needs to be going on.
Why? Quarterbacks get paid 30 and up. Period.
Wouldn't you agree?
30 and up.
They're getting a little overpaid, some of the mid-level guys.
All I'm simply saying is that's the market. 30 and up.
It is what you're willing to pay.
You can't get mad with the market for the market being what it is. If that's what the going rate for a quarterback is, 30 and up, that's what it is.
Why is Belichick lowballing Brady?
He's not lowballing Brady. Brady was taking less because he could.
No. I'm saying now, though.
Now it's different. And even then, it was still reports that they were going to pay him $30 million. Now they want to see what his market is. That's what's happening right now. They're saying, well, look, Brady, we got to this point now. Go talk to other teams, see what they're willing to pay you. That's what it is now.
I don't know. That'll be interesting to see what he does.
Yeah.
Belichick does.
Well, why is it what Belichick does? And why not what is it interesting to see what Brady does?
No, I'm talking from an organizational standpoint.
What do you mean?
Of what quarterbacks you bring in. Because we're talking about if you're a team, do I want Cousins, Tannehill? So it'd be interesting to see what the Patriots do. If they don't bring back Brady, what route they would take at quarterback and how much they would pay someone. Like what they think is. Because I think everyone.
So who's available then?
Well, Dalton. And Jameis. Fitzpatrick isn't, right? He's
no more year. He got extended, I want to say.
Teddy Bridgewater. Yeah. So that's who's available right now.
Okay.
What?
Just listening to how you want to talk up some of these guys. That's what I'm waiting to hear this.
Oh, whoa. Trust me. I'm not talking any of those dudes up. I wouldn't want any of those guys.
Okay.
But I'm saying from a team standpoint, do I think I could win with these guys at this amount of money? That's my
question. What is this amount of money? Because you'll say,
you'll
throw something outlandish like, oh, if he gets $15 million a year, dude, they're paying pass rushers $15 million a year. Like, they're not going to pay a quarterback. They taking if he's worth anything. He's not taking $15 million a year. If he's good, you're praying that he'll take it for 27, 28.
Well, this is the interesting conversation that I'm just completely off on market value.
You are.
Maybe I'm completely
good
off.
Quarterbacks getting 28 or higher easily. Good quarterbacks.
Yeah, but
the great ones get paid. But a good quarterback 28 or higher.
So top 20.
28 or higher.
Top 28? No. I'm saying top 20 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
They're getting 28 or higher. Interesting. Well, I mean, you do have dudes like Cam or Matt Stafford.
The only thing is this. So with them, their situation is unique for the simple fact of you have to see when they signed their deal.
Right.
Because obviously this is the new market. So any of those guys who potentially will sign new deals, that's going to be what they're seeing. Anybody that signed before then, you might have a guy that's, he only gets $25 million right now. Yeah, but he signed his extension 3 years ago when the market was reset that first time.
So you think if Cam or Stafford went on the open market right now,
Stafford would definitely get in the 30s without
a
doubt. Yes, without a doubt.
Man.
Dude, how much did Tannehill just get?
But I think Stafford's better than Tannehill. I think he's better than both.
So how much did Tannehill just get?
28.
How much did Kirk Cousins just get?
Man,
roughly 30 a year, right?
Now you're right, but he's a little older than those guys, a little bit.
Who's the better quarterback between those three?
I'm taking Stafford for sure.
I think we all can agree Stafford's the better quarterback, hands down. Correct,
man, dude. You're right. I mean,
that's the market. That's how it works, though.
This is getting eye opening. You're right,
and that's why if you're the player, you want to wait till that first guy gets paid. That's why if you were Dak and they didn't franchise you, Dak would have been happy that Tannehill got how much? Okay, perfect. Now we about to get paid. You want that first guy to get that check because now the next guy gets paid more and the guy that gets paid more. That's how it works, man.
This is interesting.
Nah. You never want to be the first. Like you can set the market, which is cool, But after that, the guys that come after you are going to see more money.
That's crazy, how it works, man. And I guess if everyone's paying QBs like this now,
that's how it works. They're the premium.
No, the teams aren't going to be complaining about it just because everyone's equal now. But this is what I'm saying. Can you find the opposite? Usually,
well, you try to do that with the rookie contracts,
right?
But it's so hard to find a rookie that is able to lead your team. Rookies are a crapshoot. We talk about this every year. Rookies. Are they good or are they a bust?
Minshew.
We talk about it, and you saw how that worked out every year.
But then, like, to go back to your point, how many people were drafted before Minshew?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that is pretty impressive, though, for him to come in.
No, without a doubt. When you get a rookie that can come in and
on
produce,
a 6th round, yeah,
any rookie that comes in and produce, you're thinking,
and you look capable.
You're thinking, because they're crapshoots. You just never know. We talk about here in Pittsburgh. Devin Bush, it worked out early, right?
Yeah.
Bud Dupree took time to develop. Jarvis Jones took time to develop. Artie Burns took time to develop. That's 3-1 right there. It happens.
Man.
When I think about Buffalo, Aaron Maven, that didn't work out.
Man.
EJ Manuel, that didn't work out. Yeah.
He was supposed to be like
he was supposed to be that dude. Yeah.
I remember him in Penn State.
Yeah, it's crapshoot.
He had all the potential.
You just never know.
Yeah.
It's crapshoot.
Dude, yeah, I guess.
Wow. So when you talk about this, and this is the thing, and it's not your fault. A lot of fans think like this in general. Man, just draft a guy, man. You got to draft a young quarterback, build a team around him. The model is great. Without a doubt, you love that model. But it is so hard to implement it. That's what I'm saying. It's easy to say, hey, man, all you got to do is just go over here, jump that, hit that, and now you made it. But when you actually have to physically go over there, jump this, go over there to make that, it's like, dude, this is impossible. This is crazy. My chances of doing this are slim to none. It's hard.
But
if that's the case, every team would do it. If that's the case, every team would do it.
But here's the thing.
If that's the case, why do we extend Ben? No, seriously. Could we have just said, you know what?
No,
Ben, you won a championship. Hey, we could build around this team, draft a young quarterback. We'll be fine.
No, Ben's the man, though.
No, I'm just saying, though, right? That's the model, right?
Top 5 QB.
I'm just simply saying that's the model, though, right?
No, I'm saying if you don't have a top 5, 6 guy, then why not?
I'm just simply saying. Right now, we ain't gonna have that conversation right now. We'll do that another day.
We got a top 5 guy.
We'll do that another day.
There's no reason to be doing that.
We'll have that another day.
But what was I gonna say? No, but as dumb as it came across, and as just, I'm just throwing this out there like it's nothing. Dude, I mean, if you're drafting EJ Manuel and Chris Ponder and some of these dudes in the first round,
you're reaching.
Right, that's what I mean. Like,
because you're like, hey man, we got to get a quarterback. We don't have a quarterback. We got to do whatever it takes to get a quarterback. If we would have in Buffalo, if we would have had a quarterback like a Kirk Cousins at the time, do you think we would have been drafting EJ Manuel? And nothing against EJ, like I said, that's my dog. But do you think we would have drafted EJ at 16? No. We would have said, man, we don't need to. We could draft something else more valuable. But when you don't have a quarterback, you have to do whatever it takes to get that quarterback, even if that means reaching, even if that means hoping and wishing, and let's just try to create anything it can to make this dude work.
Trubisky versus, Mahomes.
Okay.
Was Watson in that draft too?
Yeah, they were all in that draft.
Yeah, but I mean, these are examples, I guess. Then what are these? What are these scouts or GMs seeing in these guys? That's all.
Stop it, bro. Stop it.
That's all. As much as it
coming out, Mitch Trubisky was the better quarterback if you watch the collegiate film on him. They said when you looked at Deshaun, he had all the weapons around him. So you look at Trubisky, he had everything that you want to check the box on. And he did it with less talent around him.
I mean, there was a reason that he was going top 3.
And don't make the face about Mahomes, because no one even knew Mahomes. Mahomes, oh man, it worked out great. At the time, nobody was like, oh, man, you got to draft that. But otherwise, people would have took him in the top 5.
Dude,
Stop it.
Andy Reid was, though.
Stop it.
Andy Reid. The people that drafted those guys definitely saw something in him.
So Andy Reid's never missed on the first round draft pick.
I'm not saying that.
So what are you saying then?
I don't know. I mean, hindsight's 2020, man.
Exactly. But if hindsight's 2020, don't try to make it like they knew exactly what was happening. They knew this is a generational talent right here coming out of Texas Tech. This is the guy. No, dude. Because it wasn't the case, man.
At the same time, there are organizations that just do their jobs better in terms of bringing in players. Green Bay Packers, Pittsburgh Steelers, Patriots, Seahawks. Like, these organizations
I just named multiple first round picks in Pittsburgh that people were not happy with.
Wait, what do you mean?
Artie Burns.
Oh, yeah.
Jarvis Jones. And up until this year, Bud Dupree.
Dude, I'm talking quarterback.
When the last time we had a draft first round quarterback?
We haven't.
Exactly. So you can't say that then.
It's been great.
Okay, so you can't say that then.
About what?
Oh man, look at man, they draft first round quarterbacks all the time successful. No, you can't say that.
Well, no, so the teams that I just listed off though.
They already had their quarterback in place. So that's what I'm telling you. You can't say that they do a better job of scouting when they already got lucky on the one person that they picked and they ain't have to go about it another time. We're going to see how good they can go with it because first off, people were on the fence about if Mason Rudolph is good or not. And then when they said they had a first round grade on them, people said, oh man, y'all are absolutely bonkers. That's that same scout, right? That's the same department. So we'll see when Ben does go and they have to draft another quarterback. Let's see. Let's see how good you are. Yeah.
So no one's good. Is that what you're saying?
Now you're hearing me when I tell you it is a crapshoot to find a franchise quarterback, which is why every team is searching for the franchise quarterback, which is why when you finally find that guy, you do whatever it takes to keep him. Well, even if it means overpaying. You still do it.
Well, I'm telling you, Tannehill and Cousins aren't the franchise QBs. That's all.
Hey, man, you can say what you want to say.
That's all. Those are franchise guys.
You can say what you want
to say. I know
what
I see in franchise guys, and those guys aren't franchise.
I don't even trust your eyes right now. That's all I'm saying.
Well, dude, that was interesting. Did you want to get into Brady at all?
Man, it's up to you, man. What you want to do, man? I'm just following your lead right now, man.
Well,
because I just talk quarterbacks, it just hurts my head.
I just think my predictions looking pretty good right now.
What's your prediction?
Well, we talked about it last one.
Yeah, what was it?
Briefly, I said he's going back to the Patriots.
Okay,
that's all. I mean, Titans are out of the mix. 49ers said they're out of the mix. So it comes down to them and the Bucks, and I just think he's gonna go back to Patriots. That's all.
Okay.
What are you thinking? You thinking Bucks? You said Raiders.
I don't be thinking about that joint at all, bro. I can see Oakland, or excuse me, not Oakland. I can see Vegas. I know they said the Bucks really want to make a run at him. They also said the Chargers could potentially be talking to him. For me, I can see the Chargers over the Bucks just because the Cali vibe to it. From a roster standpoint, though,
what is Brady looking for? That's kind of the thing.
No one knows. That's the thing. Yeah.
That is the thing.
Is it just money? Is it
respect?
Location? Is it respect? Is it I want to prove something? Is he trying to go to a better team? Who gives him the best chance to win? No one really knows right now.
If you knew any one or two of those things, then you could lean more one side or the other.
Because I think if we're talking about just better rosters right now, I think if you put them on Tampa's roster, offensively, that's a better.
And their defense ain't bad.
Absolutely, they're gonna have. They just franchise tagged Shaq Barrett, who was second, or actually led the league in sacks with 19.5. So he's coming back. They still got Devin White, who was top 5 draft pick last year, so he's ready to go. I mean, so they got pieces. They got a ton down there. LA, they would need to do some stuff with their offensive line, but from a receiving standpoint, we talked about the 2 receivers they have. They also just extended Austin Eckler. But I say, so that's done. You also get Derwin James coming back next year, fully healthy. That's huge.
Facing Mahomes twice.
You think Brady cares about facing Mahomes twice? Like, I'm trying to figure out, since when did Brady become scared of Mahomes? Like, please, like, that's the biggest thing I'm trying to figure out. When did, out of all the quarterbacks we talk about, we're talking about Tom Brady.
Sometimes you
the most rings ever, right? He got 6 rings, right? So please help me know, when did Tom Brady become scared to go play somebody twice a year? When did that happen? When did Brady say, "Hey man, I don't want to go play over there"?
I mean, I
don't want to deal with that. When?
He's had the softest division his whole career, so why not kind of stick with that route?
Y'all are crazy. Bro, you're crazy.
What do you mean?
You're crazy.
You think?
So Brady's scared to go play Mahomes twice.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you're looking for the easiest route.
So Brady is scared to go.
Although NFC South, you got Breeze then. Yeah, but Carolina's down. Falcons are down, so that's all you'd have to deal with. Yeah, I guess your point's valid. I guess you're going to have to face a decent team and everything.
Like, what are we talking about?
But for
and then for a while, even when he was in New England, remember when Rex and the Jets were going, they were starting to get at him.
There was a Jets run for a couple years.
The Bills always play him tough, but he always gets them at the end of that. I'm trying to think. The Dolphins always get his number, which is weird.
There was a 1 year where the Dolphins were decent with Pennington.
The Dolphins annually, they split. It happens.
Yeah, but in terms of...
I'm just simply saying it happens.
Making the playoffs and winning divisions.
All I'm simply saying is, man, when is Brady scared to play anybody?
Right, good point.
But people
I'm
always,
just scheming. I'm scheming in the back
right,
of my
because
mind.
I always laugh when people are like, "Oh, why would he go to the Chargers? He got to play Mahomes twice a year." Okay, if you want to win a Super Bowl, is he gonna have to beat Mahomes? Okay,
Yeah, but home field advantage in the playoffs helps.
Super Bowl's on a neutral site.
Right, but getting there in the playoffs, home field advantage. If you have a good record in the regular season, it helps.
All I'm saying is, with the new playoff format, it really doesn't matter because only one team's getting that bye now. So either way, you playing extra game on top of that.
You're not thinking anything on the road. The only, I guess, it's just the Steeler thing here on the road up in New England. That's the only thing that we get
Because y'all making the boogeyman.
I mean,
it's not just fans. Some of the coaches did too.
I don't.
A lot of people do. Oh my God, we can't go to New England and win. Like
we can.
You're playing the game. Just hype yourself up if you want to. Just playing the game.
All right. Anything else?
That's how I looked at it, bro.
Anything else with Brady?
We just don't know. That is so funny to me, though, man.
What?
He got to go to Mahomes twice a year. But then you say, if we go to the Bucks, he got Drew Brees twice a year. Like, what are we talking about here?
If I'm a free agent, I'm trying to scheme the easiest way possible to get to the chip.
And we see how quickly that changes each year.
It does change, yeah.
2 years ago, we weren't saying, hey, man, you can't go to the Chargers, man, because Mahomes twice a year. No. Now it's a different conversation.
Well, you had Broncos. Broncos' defense was pretty good.
Yeah.
But they didn't have a quarterback after Manning left.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
It does change year to year. The NFL is the most
so you probably should just go
flexible.
So you probably should just go to the team that you feel most confident in. Huh?
Sure. I'm not Brady. I mean, Brady's.
You probably would go to the team. You know what? I like this team. I like this city. I want to live here. They're paying me good. This is why I'm going to.
Brady's a Hall of Fame quarterback, and I'm sitting here on a mic, just spitting out random stuff. So I mean, that is why we are different.
Brady's scared of Mahomes. Oh Lord. Oh wait. He's scared of Drew Brees too. He can't go there either.
It's why I'm not an NFL quarterback, dude. But I know teams. I know the NFL, and I know NFL quarterbacks. I study them. So
hey, whatever you say, bro.
That's all I can speak on.
Hey man, you been gathering the data. You're funny. Bro.
That's all I got, man. You're
funny.
I'll tell you how it is.
All right, bro. Got your finger on the pulse of the quarterback market, baby.
I do.
You funny.
Yep. Well, apparently I don't because I'm really off on my numbers. Well, we'll see. We'll see, man. We'll see what Bridgewater gets, Dalton, some of these dudes here.
So what do you think Bridgewater's going to get then, man? If Phil's going to take 15 to go to the Colts, what's Bridgewater?
I really don't know, man. I would say around the same thing, but it doesn't.
15?
Probably 20 for him, but it doesn't. What I say with Jameis, too, I said around 18, 20.
Yeah.
But
all right.
I have no clue, dude. I have no clue now. And because with the face you're giving me, you're expecting way more than that.
I hope you're right.
You hope I'm right. What do you mean?
Right. Because for that team, they'll hit the lotto. If they can get one of those quarterbacks for 15 to 20 million, man, they hit the lottery, baby. That's all I'm saying.
We'll see, dude. I'm going to be...
And then I'm going to be sad because I'm like, dang, if you can get Teddy Bridgewater, Phillip Rivers, any of these guys for 15 to 20 mil, and we paying 34 mil right now, like, I'm a little pissed.
We're paying it to a GOAT, though. It's fine.
I don't care what he's done in the past. I'm just saying I'm a little pissed for right now.
So you're with my whole theory then?
I'm just laughing at how your theory is one way with other teams, but for us, it goes out the window.
What do you mean? With Ben?
Yeah.
Like, we got a top 5 guy.
Do we know he's top 5 right now?
I know that. I know deep down.
And here we are again. So, yeah. Thank you for answering my question. I appreciate you, man. Is there anything else you want to get off your chest?
No, hold on. To go back though, you're with that theory if my market projections are accurate.
If a team can get one of them to sign for that,
yeah.
Well, then great for them. Absolutely. It's a great idea.
Okay.
But then I'm going to say, if they're going to pay them that and we're paying Ben 34,
see, we're
idiots.
We're off on that though. We disagree with that.
Boy,
we got the franchise guy, man. We don't got to worry. We're good. Funny.
Whatever you say, bro.
Well, this is a good combo though. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, my head hurts.
Does it?
You and these quarterbacks.
I feel in the pocket right now. I'm good.
You and this quarterback stuff, boy.
Anything else? I mean, do you want to keep talking Brady or?
I'm good, man. I ain't got nothing but time for you today, man.
Really?
It's coronavirus season, man. Kids ain't got school. We ain't got nothing going on. All my events getting canceled. Okay. All I can do is talk on the mic at the house, or go to the TV, or go to the radio station talking on the mic. That's it.
We got mad content here.
You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna waste it all, man. This podcast is already about to be 2 hours.
Nah.
It's 1 hour and 54 minutes right now.
No way.
So shout out to everybody that's been riding on this journey with us.
Here's the thing, dude. It's coronavirus. No one else is doing anything.
Hey,
so,
man. Enjoy the content. And we still got more heat coming for y'all because we always on y'all like that.
This was like 2 podcasts in one. Almost.
Actually, no, this is only one. We got way more.
No. What I mean is like the conversations. We did coronavirus CBA, and if you break it up into 2, then we did the Steelers, then kind of free agent moves. So it's you got a lot of shit.
Yeah, but that was just one big podcast for us, man.
Exactly.
Like I said,
it did flow that way. Yes.
Yeah, we keep the content coming. Y'all know that, man. So enjoy this. Chew on it, in the words of Coach Tomlin. Sit in the house, wash your hands, soap and water, sing happy birthday 2 times while you washing your hands.
Yep.
Yeah, listen to the podcast, and then we'll get you with some more heat over the later in the week, baby.
Exactly.
So we appreciate y'all for listening. Appreciate y'all for watching. And until next time.
Peace.